Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. Today we will see what if Naruto became Junin and became the teacher of 3 kids. If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments. Tsunade-sama, you want Naruto to take over the team of the 3 rookies? Iruka asked. Tsunade nodded. Yes, Naruto isn't the same troublemaker he was before. He's now a man, a Junin, one of the best Junins around, and I want him to take this team. You called for me, old hag Tsunade? Naruto, pay respect to Godem, Iruka said. Anyo saw, I was just kidding, Iruka-sensei. Naruto then stepped out of the shadows. He'd truly have grown up. He was taller than ever, wearing a dark blue long-sleeved shirt and pants. He also wore the green vest that all Junins have. His blonde hair was down and his forehead protector was tied on his left arm. To make his description short, he looked like the 4th Hokage if not for his blue eyes and whisker-like scars. Naruto, would you like to take the team? Tsunade asked once again. Naruto thought for a moment before showing his trademark foxy grin. Sure, I'll take it. Tomorrow morning at the academy. Sigh. Graduation day. What a waste of time. Can they not just do the graduation exams and get over it? A boy with black hair and eyes said as he sulked down on his seat. He wore a green t-shirt with the Uchiha sign on the back. Yano guys, I'm truly excited about this one. I'm gonna be a ninja. A true ninja. Another boy said with black hair and eyes. He wore a yellow shirt with the Uchiha sign on the back. Ow. Hey, what was that for, Reika? The boy said as he held his head in pain. A girl with long silky brown hair and unmistakable white eyes glared at the boy and continued reading. Shut up, Kiki. How can you be an Uchiha if your attitude is like that? Your brother's better than you. The girl said. The guy wearing green shrugged. Sigh. Will you guys shut up? Outland, you're not the one who she's talking to. Kiki, the boy wearing yellow said. Sigh. We will all pass this graduation exam. So what's the big deal? Reika asked as she closed the book she was reading. Yeah right. You're confident cause you're a Hyuga. From the branch family, Sicko. You forgot. Okay students. The exams would begin. Unlike the past years, we would make the graduation exams here in the dojo of the school. And we are very fortunate to have 2 of the most skillful Anbu here to witness your graduation. Iruka announced. Everybody sat down and waited for the ANBUs to arrive. Sasuke. Neji. Hi guys. Naruto called out to his 2 best friends. Sasuke smirked as Neji still wore his look. Hi Dobi. Heard you'll be a Junin teacher soon. Sasuke said. Naruto, HNED, as he crossed his arms. I'm a Junin now, so don't you dare underestimate me again, Uchiha. Naruto, Sasuke, would you shut up? We're supposed to be at the academy by now to witness the graduation of the students. Neji said as he pulled Sasuke's arm. Let go, Neji. Anyway, see ya soon, Dobi. Have fun with the students later. Back at the academy, the students were already inside the dojo waiting for the 2 ANBUs to arrive. What's taking the ANBUs so long? Kiki complained. As if a cue, the door opened and Iruka came in. Class, the ANBUs are here. He sat down in one of the chairs near the table where a pile of forehead protectors is laying on wait for the graduated ninja to wear. The students gasped as they saw the 2 black-clothed ANBUs, most especially the 3 kids who were chatting a while ago. Papa? Sasuke and Neji sat down on the chairs beside Iruka and crossed their arms. Iruka snickered, excited to see what the kids are capable of. I'm here to witness the students' graduation. Neji said. Me too. Sasuke added. Iruka shrugged. Class, I have to say that this exam will be a tough one. Have you guys wondered on why 2 ANBUs are here today? Iruka asked in a tone that most likely would scare the students. Everyone was silent. Well, they're here to witness your graduation and to test your individual capabilities. Sir, what do you mean, test our individual capabilities? A blue-haired girl named Nara Ayumi asked. Iruka cleared his throat. Well, kids, each of you is going to individually fight with one of them. All students tensed up. Sir, how are we going to fight an Anbu? They're an Anbu for goodness sake. A black-haired boy named Inuzuka Ruchi said as he stood up from his seat. Calm down Ruchi. They're just gonna test you. Now sit down and wait for your name to be called. Gee, what now? Don't tell me I got to fight with Dad? He's way stronger than us, Lan. Kiki said as he looked at his brother. For once, I agree. We can't even make a scratch. Lan said as he crossed his arms and glared at his dad. This will be a tough exam. You're telling me. Papa's very strict. And if there's one person that I don't like to fight with, that's him. Reika said as she slapped her arm to stop from shaking. Kiki grinned. If there's one thing that scares Reika, that's Uncle Neji. Shut up. Your names will be randomly selected from this box. The first Anbu to fight will be Hyuga Neji, followed by Uchiha Sasuke, vice versa. Everyone gulped in fear and nervousness. Now the first to fight would be. Iruka stopped as he got out a folded paper from the box and read it aloud. Hyuga Reika. Reika froze on the spot. She gulped as her father stared at her. Reika, come on. Iruka called once more. Iruka-sensei, do I really have to? Iruka nodded. Reika gulped once again and stood up in fear. She slowly made her way to the middle of the room where her father waits. Reika, Neji exclaimed at his frightened daughter. His cold voice scared Reika than ever. Reika, look at me. Reika slowly looked at her father in fear. Gee, Reika really is scared with Uncle Neji. Kiki whispered to his brother. Of course she is. Everyone knows how strict her father is. Lan replied. Reika, you need to relax. Focus on the battle. Do you want to graduate or not? Neji asked her in a cold voice. Hi. I want to graduate, Papa. But I don't know if I will be able to fight you. Reika, if you want to graduate then fight. Neji exclaimed. Reika closed her eyes and slowly inhaled and exhaled. Finding that her nervousness always took over her when facing her dad, she got out a kunai and slashed her arm, blood flowing freely from her wound. She winced in pain, but the pain helped her to look at her father directly in the eyes. Neji raised an eyebrow at his daughter. I can see why her daughter is scared of him. Sasuke said as he crossed his arms. Well, your boys are scared of you too. Iruka told him in amusement. Sasuke nodded. But they're boys. They shouldn't freak out that much like girls. Well, are you ready? Reika closed her eyes and made the proper seals. Her eyes opened slowly. Byakugan. She slowly relaxed and placed her hands in a fighting stance. Sasuke, Iruka, and Neji knew that stance too well. The gentle fist. Whoa, I've never seen that taijutsu stance before. Lan. What kind of taijutsu is that? Kiki asked. Lan shook his head. I don't know. But we're here to find out. I'm ready, Papa, she said. Neji smiled a bit. What's so funny, Papa? Nothing. This scene just reminded me of a fight that I once had. Well, never mind that. Shall I use the same style? Papa, do what you wish. Don't hold yourself back just because I'm your child. Reika said. Neji smiled. Very well. Byakugan. Neji then made the same stance as his daughter. Start. At the Ichiraku, Naruto was currently slurping some of his newly cooked miso ramen in delight. The waiter looked at Naruto and sighed. It surely is peaceful today. Yeah, it looks like the graduation exam is taking long. I wonder on what kind of test Iruka-sensei gave the students. I wonder what Sasuke and Neji are doing there. Naruto wondered. Sasuke and Neji? Do you mean Uchiha Sasuke and Hyuga Neji? The waiter asked. Naruto nodded. Yes, as I've heard, Iruka's planning to make the student fight a one-on-one match with them. He sure is giving the students a hard time. Yeah, Iruka-sensei always have crazy ideas up on his sleeves. Nay, excited for your new students later on? Hi, back at the academy. Huh. Reika tried to hit Neji on the shoulder, but Neji merely sidestepped and attacked Reika from behind. Luckily, Reika saw his hand coming and managed to dodge and jump away. Is that what you can do, Reika? I'm not yet finished, Dad. She lunged once again to Neji only to be hit on the stomach and tumbled down. She managed to stand up once again, but she clutched her stomach in pain. She started to attack once again, but instead of attacking using the gentle fist, she jumped up behind her father and threw shurikens at him. Neji didn't expect that to happen and thus earned him a small cut of the arm. You're getting better, Reika. Neji commented. Of course, I'm training to be better than you. She then attacked once again. Neji figured that the attack was fast, so instead on dodging, he blocked it, unexpectedly not realizing that he gave Reika an opening to attack his arm. Reika smirked and attacked her father's left arm, closing 7 tenketsus in an instant. This caused Neji to gasp and kick his daughter away. Reika slammed to the wall. Itai. She winced. Her back hurt. Not to mention her stomach and arms too. She tried to stand up but failed miserably. She fell down on the floor again. Reika, Lan and Kiki jumped from their seats and ran towards Reika. Reika, Reika, wake up, Kiki exclaimed. Reika weakly opened an eyes. I'm okay. Don't worry about me. She stood up once again. Kiki, Lan, move. This is my fight. Her eyesight was a little dim, not that she's mind that much. The two boys went back to their chairs. She stood up once again and made the gentle fist stance. Neji, instead of doing the stance as well, walked to the table and got one of the forehead protector. Reika didn't realize it for she was still busy trying to stop her blurry eyesight. She noticed her father walk near her. She prepared herself for Neji's attack. Her eyesight was back to normal by the time her father was in front of her. She still hadn't noticed the forehead protector on her father's hand. Let me ask you, if you're going to have a forehead protector, where would you put it? Neji asked. Reika narrowed her eyes slightly, not getting the whole idea. On my left arm, the same area below the shoulder where I hit you. She was surprised when Neji kneeled down and tied the forehead protector on Reika's left arm below the shoulder. Papa, from this day on, you are now a ninja. You passed. I passed? I passed. Reika suddenly cried out and hugged her father tightly. I passed. I passed. She cried out. Neji made a small warm smile as he hugged his daughter back. Stop crying, Reika. You're no longer a little girl. Neji then stood up. Now go back to your seat where your friends are waiting. Thanks a lot, Dad. Reika then walked back to her seat where Lan and Kiki were dumbfolded. Who knew that their serious female friend got a side like this? Hey Neji, I thought you were going to beat her out. Is this how you train her? Sasuke asked. Neji nodded. Yes. Why did you pass her? Determination. Oh, and she really improved a lot. This is the first time she inflicted a wound on me. Neji said. Really? Okay then. Congratulations Hyuga Reika. Iruka then checked her name off the list. The person to fight Uchiha Sasuke would be. He paused again to get a name. Nara Ayumi. Ayumi shakily stood up from her seat to face Sasuke. So she's Shikamaru's daughter? Sasuke thought. Sigh. I hope Dad would be easy on her. Dad's a tough one. Anyway, congratulations Reika, Lan said as he smiled. Thanks Lan. Congratulations too. Arigato Kiki. Seems like the matches would be tougher than expected. The two of you would either get to fight my dad or Uncle Sasuke. So you have to be careful. Do your best guys so that we can be ninjas together. Reika said. Yeah, back to Naruto, who was more likely ignored in this chapter. I'm so bored. Sigh. Might as well check on Hinata-chan. As I know, she's working at a small clinic when they don't have missions. I wonder what she's currently doing. Naruto wondered as he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Hinata-san, you have a visitor. Shall I let him in? A nurse's voice called out. Him? Hinata thought. Okay, let him in. Hinata-chan, how are you? Naruto greeted as he entered the room. Hinata automatically blushed. Naruto-kun, what brings you here? Don't you have any missions to do? Oh, just finished my recent mission last night. The old H.R. Tsunade-sama always gives me nighttime missions. I suppose my team might experience the same. I'm waiting for the graduation exam to end so I could go and know who my team members are. You're a Junin teacher now? Hinata asked. Naruto nodded. Yes, the old hag, R. Tsunade-sama told me that I'm the last Junin that she can trust with the students. So I agreed. That's very nice of you. Thanks Hinata-chan. Hey, I heard that Neji is one of the teachers at the graduation exam. I wonder what's going on. What, Neji Nissan? I just hope that in case he fights his daughter he'll take it easy on her. Don't worry Hinata-chan, I'm sure that it will turn out alright. Ayumi dodged a bunch of kunais that was thrown by Sasuke towards her. I don't want to die yet. Reika's sweat dropped. Ayumi, stop being a sacredly cat and fight him. She exclaimed. But Reika, he's an Anbu. Stop dodging and use your family technique. It isn't your destiny to fail this graduation exam. Your destiny is to be a ninja. Go on, no one can change destiny. I know you're strong and you'll always be strong. What a person is, that person will always be. She exclaimed. The two boys giggled. She got that from Uncle Neji. I'm sure, Kiki said. Ayumi stopped dodging and stood up. She was panting hardly. Alright then. She made the proper hand seals and concentrated. Kagemane no Jutsu. Ayumi's shadow started following Sasuke. Sasuke continued to go as far away from her shadow as possible. He made some hand seals and blew fire from his mouth. Kaden Hausenka. Wah. Ayumi continued dodging the fireballs. All except one which hit her in the right leg. Papa, don't burn the dojo down. Kiki exclaimed as Sasuke continued to shower fireballs at her. Lan stood up from his seat towards Ayumi, made a few hand seals, and placed his palm on the wooden floor. Kaji no Tate, Shield of Fire. A fire shield suddenly surrounded the two of them, blocking every fireball. Lan turned around towards Ayumi and stretched his arm towards her. Are you alright? Here, let me help you stand. Ayumi blushed and shyly took his hand to stand up. Lan glared at his dad. Dad, cool down would you? You're so hot with the fire that you're practically burning inside. Oh great. Kiki placed his forehead in his palm. Reika gently placed her hand on Kiki's shoulder. What's the matter? Lan knows better than not to mess up with dad. This is not going to be good. Are you aware of what you're doing, Lan? Sasuke coldly asked him, his dark eyes gazing over at him. Lan glared at him with his equally dark eyes. Yes I do. You could kill her, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. Sasuke looked at Neji. Neji nodded and walked over to the table. He got 2 forehead protectors and threw it at Sasuke, who in turn passed it to the 2 genin to be. Nara Ayumi, Uchiha Lan, both of you passed my standards. Sasuke said coldly before going back to his seat. Lan placed Ayumi's arm around his neck and helped her stand up. He led her towards her own seat before he sat back down beside his brother. That was very nice of you, Lan, Reika said as she smiled sweetly at him. Lan blushed slightly before turning back to look at Iruka. Thank you. Kiki narrowed his eyes a little as he noticed the tension surrounding his twin. Hey Lan, you like Reika? Am I right? He whispered. No I don't. Lan replied back. Oh really? I doubt you're telling the truth. Anyway, are you alright? Shut up Kiki. I'm alright. And don't worry about me. You should be worried about yourself. And why is that? Sigh. Kiki, listen. We don't know if you're going to fight Dad or Uncle Neji. They're both strong ANBUs. I'm sure that Dad would at least get his chakra a bit lower so that he won't hurt us that much, but Uncle Neji is a different story. He doesn't care who fights him. Well, he cares about Reika because she's his daughter and all. But if the others, well, I'm sure he wouldn't care one bit if they got hurt. Okay, Kiki, this is serious. Alright, I'll be careful. Now the next to fight Hyuga Neji would be. Iruka got another paper from the box and read it aloud. Well, it's Uchiha Kiki's turn. Kiki froze on the spot and shifted a little to look at his twin. Lan had a serious look on his face. See what I mean, Kiki? Neji stood up from his seat. Neji, Sasuke called. Neji stopped, walked and looked at him. I don't want my son to end up in the hospital after this, you hear? We'll see, Kiki. Lan firmly called out as Kiki stood up. What is it? Kiki, this fight would not be easy. And your point? It's time to use the Sharingan. Kiki was shocked. The Sharingan? Lan, are you crazy? Papa told us to never use the Sharingan unless the fight is going tough. Kiki hissed. Kiki, I think that Lan has a point. Reika said. Uncle Sasuke said never use the Sharingan unless the fight is going tough, right? Well, this would be a tough battle. This is the right time. Kiki looked at Lan, then at Reika. They both nodded. Are you sure? Kiki asked. Kiki, you're better than me when it comes to the usage of the Sharingan. You can do it, Lan said. Brother. A nod from Lan. Reika. Another nod from the Hyuga. Alright, I'll do it. Hey Lan, this is the first time that you said that to Kiki. You actually admitted that he's better than you when using the Sharingan. Reika said. He needs confidence. And besides, we may quarrel a lot, but that doesn't mean that I don't care for him. I'm already a ninja, and you are already a ninja. The 3 of us promised each other that we would graduate together. You're right. All we can do now is hope that everything will go on fine. Are you ready, young Uchiha? Neji asked as he crossed his arms. Kiki was quiet. He made a few hand seals as he closed his eyes. Opening his eyes slowly, he activated their family technique. Sharingan. Red eyes met white eyes. Sharingan versus Byakugan. Uchiha versus Hyuga. Genin versus Anbu. Whatever the result may be, it would surely be a great battle. A leaf entered the open window of the dojo. It broke into two, and in that instant, the test had started. Kiki attacked and attacked as Neji continued to dodge. Kiki lunged and kicked Neji in the groin. Neji flinched. What a? That was Lee's move. Yes, you're right, Uncle Neji. I copied that simple move from Lee-san when he once fought with Dad. It was then when Kiki hit Neji in the groin, that's when Neji decided to give the blow. With one hard swift push in the chest, Kiki was knocked out. Kiki. Lan and Reika swiftly ran towards Kiki. 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 Lan shook his twin awake. Itai, my back hurts. Papa, what was that for? You didn't have to hit Kiki so hard. Reika exclaimed. Neji glanced at Sasuke. Sasuke was glaring daggers at him. He sighed. Alright, I'm sorry. And don't worry, I'll pass your friend. Neji then sat back down on his chair. Hey, don't give me that look. He won't end up in a hospital. I assure you. All I did was knock him out for a minute. Well, that's fine. Sasuke, you know, your son reminds me of Naruto. Neji said. Really? Well, yeah. Okay, fine. So then, the graduation exam ended late in the afternoon. Naruto was sitting on a couch as he watched Hinata take care of her patients. Hinata would occasionally look at Naruto every 5 to 10 minutes, and it would earn Naruto a blush from her. Hinata glanced at the clock. It read 4:55. Nay, Naruto-kun, the exams must be done by now. Would you like me to accompany you to the academy? Hinata asked. Naruto smiled at her. Of course, Hinata-chan. How could I refuse a request from my love? Hinata, in turn, blushed. Hinata got her pouch and stood beside Naruto. Naruto held Hinata's hand as they walked out of the clinic. Hinata-chan? Nay, Naruto-kun? Would you? Huh? Do you have anything to do this Saturday? Huh? I don't have any plans. Why? It was Naruto's turn to blush this time. Would you like to go out with me on Saturday? Hinata automatically blushed. She smiled as she clings at Naruto's arm. I would love to. I'll pick you up at 7 in the evening then, koi. Naruto said. Hinata smiled. Alright, minutes later we're here. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Hinata said as she started to leave. Wait, Hinata-chan, Naruto called. Hinata turned around and was shocked as Naruto kissed her lips gently and passionately. When they broke the kiss to gasp for air, Hinata and Naruto were both blushing. Oh gee Naruto, now I'm flushed. Naruto laughed. Don't worry Hinata, you're still beautiful even when you're flushed. Arigato Naruto-kun. Ya ne. See you Hinata-chan. Hinata gently placed her finger at her lips. She blushed as she remembered Naruto's lips against her own. She blushed and smiled slightly at the memory of it. For long years, I finally allowed him to kiss me. I didn't know this was the feeling. I didn't know the feeling to be kissed by the one you love the most. Now I do. Itai, my back still hurts. Kiki complained as he desperately tried to place the cream medicine on his back. Sasuke and Neji were both there, sitting in silence. The other students were all with their Junin teachers by now. But unfortunately, their kid's sensei still wasn't there. And since they don't have any more missions to do for the time being, they stayed there with them. Lan himself was also trying to place some cream medicine at his back. No, it wasn't caused by the exam. His and Kiki's fight caused it. What were they fighting about? Who's stronger? Reika sighed desperately and got the cream medicine from Lan's hand. She then gently placed the cream medicine all around Lan's bare back. Lan blushed from the touch. Reika really has soft hands. Kiki's face was flushing in anger for Lan got Reika's attention. It was pretty obvious by that time that the two Uchiha boys liked the Hyuga girl. He grumbled and continued to try to place the cream on his back. Sasuke noticed his son's struggle, author giggles, and stood up. He snatched the cream from Kiki's hand and placed it on his son's back not so gently. Itai, Papa, it hurts, Kiki exclaimed. Is it my fault on why I'm not that gentle? And besides, you started the baby conflict. There you go, all done. Reika then closed the cream container and gave it back to Lan. Papa, where's our Junin teacher? He's so late, she complained. Neji sighed. How should I know? I don't even know on who your teacher would be. As if in a queue, the sliding door opened and a guy with blonde hair came inside. Yo, sorry I'm late. I got lost in the road of life. Dobi, you're starting to be like Kakashi-sensei. Sasuke said. Don't tell me that you're their Junin teacher. Neji said as he raised an eyebrow. As a matter of fact, yes. And what are you doing here? Naruto asked. I thought that you were going to witness the graduation exam. Yes, we did. And these twins are my sons. Sasuke said. Naruto's gaze landed on the two boys. He gasped. These two are your sons? He shrieked. Sasuke bonked Naruto on the head. Shut up. And yes, they are. Then this girl is. Naruto looked at the girl and noticed her long brown hair and white eyes. He stared at her, then at Neji. He continued this again and again. Hey Neji, this girl looks like you. It took a few minutes of silence for Naruto to figure it out. Eek, this girl is your daughter? Neji and Reika sighed at the same time, crossed their arms at the same time, and glared at him at the same time. What did it look like, Baka? They said at the same time. Lan and Kiki sighed, like father like daughter. Well then, let's introduce each other, shall we? We'll be leaving, Sasuke said as he and Neji exited the room, leaving the three kids with Naruto inside the room. Reika went towards the place where she was sitting a while ago and started reading the book that she was reading a while back before the exam started. Lan went to one of the corners of the room and sat down Sasuke style with the dark look on his face. And Kiki? Well, he just plopped down on the floor as if he has nothing better to do. That left Naruto still standing by the doorway, totally ignored by the three genin rookies. Ehem, let us introduce ourselves then. Tell your name, your likes, dislikes, dreams for the future, and the person you admire the most. Naruto repeated. Reika closed the book she was reading. Lan stared at him, and Kiki just stared at him as he fiddled with his fingers. Why don't you start first? It seems that my father knows you. Why are you anyway? Reika asked, coldness all present in the tone of her voice. Sheesh, this girl's giving me the freaks. She's like Sasuke and Neji combined. Sigh. Not a good combination. Naruto thought. He then smiled brightly and sat down on the teacher's table. Anyway, you're not allowed to sit on the teacher's table. Reika cut him off. Well, it's not like they'll find out anyway. I'm Uzumaki Naruto. I like ramen. I dislike. Let's not talk about that. My dream is. No. What I will be in the future is. I will be the future Hokage and all the people will acknowledge me. Naruto said. As if. Naruto glared at her. Now since you love cutting me off, it's your turn. Okay. I am Hyuga Reika. I like books, scrolls, training, and weapons. I don't like people who treat the branch family of the Hyuga like a tool or something. My dream for the future is to exceed my father's skills and be the best female Hyuga. Reika said. So you also have a grudge against the head family? Naruto asked. Reika shook her head. No, not exactly. The only person I dislike in the Hyuga head is Hanabi. Why is that? Don't ask. I dislike her a lot. The only person that I like among the Hyuga head is Ms. Hinata. She's a very kind person. Naruto nodded as he smiled because someone said something nice about Hinata. He turned towards the sulking Uchiha in the corner. Your turn. Okay, I am Uchiha Lan. I like training and reading. I dislike people who hurt my friends. My dream for the future? I want to be a lot stronger than my father. Lan said. Naruto nodded. Why? Is anything wrong with Sasuke? He asked. Lan and Kiki looked at him in surprise. Hey, why are you looking at me like that? No one has ever called Papa that informally. He's normally called Sasuke-sama, Uchiha-san, and others. He'd never been called by his first name that easily before. The only people who could call him that way are his friends and family members. Kiki explained. Naruto-san, what is your relationship with our father? Lan asked. The dark look from his face was gone. Naruto smiled at the two boys. Well, when I was still a genin, Sasuke was my teammate. Honto? Yes. Sakura-chan was also my teammate with your dad. Lan and Kiki suddenly had a depressed look in their face. Naruto looked at Reika, who was currently frowning at him. Uzumaki-san, you shouldn't have reminded them about that. She said. Naruto now understood. He remembered. Flashback. Sasuke-kun. Shush. Sakura, don't talk. Save your strength. Sasuke, take care of our little Lan. Kiki when I'm gone. Sakura-chan, please don't talk that way. Naruto said as a tear fell down his cheek. Sasuke held Sakura's hand as if to never let go. Sakura smiled weakly. Even in the pit of death, she never lost her beauty and kindness. Naruto-kun, thank you for being a good friend. When Sasuke-kun needs you, please. Shush. Sakura-chan, don't talk. Please do what you can to help him. Promise me that, Naruto-kun. I promise, Sakura-chan. Sakura then looked at Neji, who was also there by the door looking down. He can't bear to look at her. He knew how it feels to lose a loved one and he felt bad that he cannot do anything about it. Sasuke, my love, raise up our children well. I will be looking forward to see them grow up as I watch them from the skies. Sasuke can't bear to hold his tears any longer. A tear fell down on his cheeks as he hugged Sakura tightly. Sasuke, Naruto, Neji, my sons, goodbye. Sakura then breathed her last. Sakura, Sasuke screamed. He cried out. Salty tears of pain were wetting the sheets. Naruto looked away. Neji slowly walked over to Sasuke and placed a hand on his shoulder. I know how you feel. I also lost Hyena, OC, who may not appear in this story, my wife, when my little girl is still a newborn. I understand. Neji's right, Sasuke. Naruto chirped in. I may have not encountered a situation like this, but I understand you. Neji and I are still here for you. You still have your sons with you. You're never alone, Sasuke. Sasuke looked up at Neji and Naruto. Thank you guys. End of flashback. Naruto looked down. I'm sorry. It's okay, Naruto-san, Lan said. Kiki nodded. After all, the past is the past and we cannot do anything about it. Reika nodded. Yes. I lost my own mother before I even get the chance to see her that clearly. I have seen her through a picture, but it's not the same. Naruto nodded. Don't worry. I understand you three. I have experienced the same too. The three kids had wide eyes at this statement. What? I never really had the opportunity to meet any of my parents. Reika, being the kind and respectful girl that she is, noticed the sarcasm here, went towards him and held his hand. Naruto-sensei, it's alright. We all understand each other. What was that? Naruto asked. Reika tilted her head in confusion. Lan and Kiki were giggling. What's wrong, Naruto-sensei? This time, Naruto was fortunate that he managed to control himself. He was about to throw up with what you just said. Naruto-sensei? Now that was it. Naruto needed to cover his mouth to prevent himself from throwing up. Lan and Kiki were already laughing hard that their stomachs were aching. Hey, Lan was the first one who was able to control his laughter. Reika. Did you just? He burst out laughing again. Reika started tapping her foot. Now, what? Did you just call Naruto-sensei? Lan burst laughing again. This was the last straw. Reika started strangling him that he was already choking. Eek. Reika, don't kill him, Kiki exclaimed. Reika. Choke, you're choking me. Lan managed to choke out. Reika then released his death grip from Lan's neck. Now, you were saying? Kiki was the first to recover. Did you just call him sensei? He asked. Reika nodded. Why? What's wrong with that? Well, it's just so unlike you. Hey, I'm not completely a cold-hearted person. I can let my soft side take over when I want to. Naruto then got back to his normal position. Gee, handling these kids will be tougher than I thought. He thought. Well, where were we? Okay. Kiki, your turn. Yes sir. I am Uchiha Kiki. I like to. Tough one. I like to train so that I will be better than our father. I dislike being left out on our studies. My dream for the future? I want to be the best living Uchiha. Kiki said as his eyes burned with determination. Naruto nodded. Good. I see that you're all not so different. I like that. Well then, meet me in the forest tomorrow early morning. Make it 5 in the morning. We'll have a mission. Kiki's head perked up. A mission? What kind of mission? Naruto raised his pointer up. A survival mission. Lan's sweat dropped. Sir, we got enough of that on the academy. Naruto nodded. Yes, but this is different. Now you all better go to your houses to get some strength. You'll need it tomorrow. Oh, and skip breakfast. Why? The three kids asked in unison. Trust me, you'll throw up. Bye. With that, Naruto disappeared in a puff of smoke. Now he's weird. Lan said. Let's go home now. I want to tell Papa about this. Let's go home, Lan. You better go home too, Reika. Bye. Kiki said as he pulled his twin out of the room. Bye you too, Reika said as she opened the window and jumped from there to a nearby tree. Why use the door if you could use the window as a shortcut? With that, she went home. Naruto jumped to a nearby tree, giving him a full view of the Hyuga head household. What was pleasing was he could see the window of his loved one easily. He could see Hinata without the family's knowing, for until now, they still don't accept Naruto as the lover of Hinata. Hinata came by the window and opened it. Seeing Naruto sitting on a nearby tree branch, she blushed. She smiled at him as he smiled at her. Naruto could read her lips say, "Sorry," to him. He nodded as he waved goodbye. Hinata made a flying kiss towards Naruto, in which he returned with a kiss of his own. With that, he departed. Hyuga branch household equals. Reika finally reached the front door of the Hyuga branch household and where her father is leading. She opened the sliding door and changed in a pair of clean white socks that she had in her bag. She walked through the narrow hallway wordlessly as she entered her father's study. Neji looked at his daughter silently as she plopped down on the floor next to him. "So Papa, don't you have any missions today?" she asked. Neji shook his head. "No. Tsunade-sama gave us a break for a week. She'll call us for a mission if it is necessary," he replied. Reika gave her father a look before resting her head on the table. "Really? That's good. Reika, is that you?" "Why, yes it is. Why do you ask Papa?" she questioned. Neji raised an eyebrow. "Because it's utterly strange that you said that. Why, don't you want me on my soft side, Papa? It's true that I inherited your skills and seriousness. But I think I got my soft side from my mom." Neji looked at his 9-year-old daughter curiously. Why did Hyena enter the topic? "As I know of you, when you say something that contains Hyena on it, it's important. For you at least." "What is it?" Reika smiled. "You could really read me that easily, Papa?" "Well, it turned out the Naruto-sensei, Lan, Kiki, and I have all experienced the same. We all lost our mother. Naruto-sensei told us that he didn't even get the opportunity to know his parents," Reika said. Neji nodded. "True." Reika looked at her white-eyed father in confusion. "Nani? What do you mean, Papa?" she asked. Neji stood up from his seat as looked at her confused daughter directly in her innocent but understanding eyes. He smiled sadly as he closed his eyes and sighed. "You're really like your mother." With that, he went out of the room, leaving Reika in a confused state. "Papa, we're home," Kiki exclaimed as they entered the Uchiha household. His little scream earned him a small slap on the back of his head, which was provided by Lan. "Itai, what did I do now?" Kiki exclaimed as he glared at his twin. "You're so noisy. Father wouldn't like that," Lan said before he took his shoes off and entered the long hallway and entering his room directly. Kiki stood there for a while before doing the same as his brother, but instead of going in his room, he went to the dining room to wait for dinner to be served. Kiki stayed that way for about 15 to 30 minutes until the door opened and his father entered the room. He scanned the room to see Kiki sitting down quietly, eyes drooped down as if he was thinking deeply. Well, he is thinking deeply. Sasuke noticed the difference in his son's attitude and sat down beside him. "Kiki, is something wrong?" Kiki sighed and looked at his feet. "Some things just don't make a difference, nay? What are you say?" He was cut off by Lan, who just entered the door. "Papa, there's a man at the door with silver hair. His left eye is hidden behind his forehead protector. He said that his name was Kakashi. Shall I let him in?" Sasuke lifted his head up. "Kakashi-sensei, huh? Well, alright, let him in." Minutes later, the silver-haired Junin entered the dining room followed by Lan. They both sat down on the nearby chairs silently as Sasuke stood up to acknowledge them. "Kakashi-sensei, what are you doing here?" Sasuke asked. Kakashi looked beside him to see Lan with the oh-so-serious look on his face and looked at Kiki, who was currently in a thinking stance. "Yo Sasuke, I was wondering if the whole gang would have a little reunion? Just so that we can set our minds off things," Kakashi suggested. Sasuke looked at him. "When do you plan that to occur then?" "Tonight in your house if you don't mind." Sasuke thought for a minute before nodding. "Alright," he said with the same cold voice. Kakashi smiled behind his mask. "Alright then, I'll go and inform the others about it. Bye." Kiki and Lan stared at the door before looking at their father. "Papa, so what do we do now?" Kiki asked. "Go and buy some drinks somewhere. Here's the money." He handed the money to Lan. "Now get going before I change my mind about the reunion." With that, the two boys left the house. "No, I don't want to go on a stupid reunion," Reika exclaimed. Neji glared at her. "You are going whether you like it or not." Finally, Reika gave in. "Fine then. Only if you promise to train me after this whole stupid reunion." Ayumi-chan. Ayumi looked at the door of her room to see her mother, Ino, looking at you with a bag of food in her hand. "Hi Mom." Ino entered her daughter's room and placed her hands on her hips. Ayumi, what are you doing? We're gonna be late. Late? Ayumi looked at her mother. Late for what? Ino sighed. That's Shikamaru. I told him to tell you. Shikamaru. Ino exclaimed after murmuring. Ayumi cringed at her mother's voice. Ino, not so loud. I can hear you. Her father, Shikamaru, entered her room and crossed his arms. Shikamaru, I told you to tell Ayumi-chan that we're going to go to the Uchiha household for a reunion with our former Junin teachers. Sorry. I forgot. Ino sighed. You're totally hopeless, Shikamaru. Ino faced her daughter. Now you go and change your clothes, for we are going to a reunion. Yeah, Mom. I heard you. I'm coming. Just let me brush my hair, then we'll go. Okay, fine. So then all the Rookie 9, their former Junin teachers, including Rock Lee, Ten, and Neji were there. Ruchi, go and get me another bottle of sake. Kiba asked his son, who in turn grumbled but gave in to his father's orders. Kiba sighed. He's been like that ever since his mother died. Naruto looked around the room. Where's Hinata-chan? She's late. As if in a queue, Reika came in with Hinata behind her. Ms. Hinata's here, she said. Hinata blushed and sat down at the empty seat beside Naruto. Lee smirked. So how are the two lovebirds? Can Lee smirk? Hinata blushed as Naruto wrapped his arm around her. Hey, we're fine. And don't you dare do anything to my Hinata. Everyone laughed. Naruto, what would your test be for the kids tomorrow? Sasuke asked. Naruto grinned. Oh, just the same test that Kakashi-sensei did to us. Naruto, you have no originality. Kakashi said as he raised a visible eyebrow. Naruto laughed nervously as he scratched the back of his head. Alright, I have the disclaimers. Naruto-kun? What is it, Hinata-chan? Please take it easy on them. They're younger than us when we became genins. Hinata said. Naruto smiled and nodded. Alright, hours later. So guys, Naruto stood up from his seat. I better go now. I need to wake up early tomorrow, and so do the kids. Ino looked towards the kids' direction and smiled. Figures. The kids are asleep already. Kiba laughed. Is that Ruchi I'm seeing? He doesn't sleep this early. Normally he sleeps at about 3 in the morning and wakes up at 8. Iruka laughed. Figures on why he's always late. I'll be going too, Hinata said. Naruto held her hand. I'll walk you home. Hinata smiled. Arigato. Take it easy on the kids tomorrow. Ten and Lee said in unison. Naruto laughed. I will. Naruto-kun? Hi, Hinata-chan? Naruto tilted his head a little to look at his lover. Hinata smiled at him. Nothing. I'm just happy to say your name. They walked together a little more until they passed a huge cherry blossom tree that was currently in bloom. Sugoi. Hinata went towards the tree as a petal fell on her hand. Sugoi. Naruto-kun, come here. Look, the sakura petals are so beautiful. Naruto placed his hands inside his pocket and walked towards Hinata. He looked at the falling petals and smiled. They are. I'm glad you agreed with me. Hinata said, not taking her gaze off the petals. But you are wrong with one thing. Hinata looked at him in confusion. Nani? Naruto looked at her and kissed her lips gently. Nothing is as beautiful as you, Hinata-chan. Nothing. Hinata blushed as she smiled slightly. Arigato, Naruto-kun. Naruto merely smiled as he looked directly at Hinata's eyes. Hinata, under this cherry blossom tree I promise that whatever happens, I will always be with you. Hinata smiled but stayed silent. Naruto caressed Hinata's cheek with his hand. And with this kiss I seal our promise. Once more, their lips touched each other gently and passionately. Hinata opened her mouth as Naruto's tongue slipped to savor every inch of Hinata's sweet taste. As they parted, Hinata had this smile at her face as she clung into Naruto's arm as if never to let go. Hinata, stop clinging to me like that. You'll make me trip, Naruto said as he smiled slightly. N. Plushies for those who could guess where I got that line. Hinata giggled. Gomen ne Naruto. Come on, Hinata. It's late. We better get going. Hi. Uchiha household . After Naruto and Hinata left, all the other visitors except Neji left. Naruto went back to Sasuke's house right after he got Hinata home. So Sasuke, what are we going to talk about? Naruto asked. Neji looked at Sasuke. Okay then, I'll get straight to the point. I felt Itachi's chakra coming towards Konoha. Naruto bolted from his seat. What, does the old hag know about this? Sasuke nodded. Yes. Tsunade-sama told me that among all shinobis, excluding herself, only 6 people could stand against my brother. Who are those people? Neji asked. Sasuke looked at the 3 kids then looked at Naruto and Neji. Us. What do you mean, us? I mean, I know that the 3 of us can already stand against Itachi. But the kids? They're still genin. Not to mention genin without experience of any missions. How are they going to stand against him? Naruto exclaimed. Neji glared at him. Naruto, calm down. Tsunade-sama was the one who told him that. Are there any other news? Yes. Sasuke nodded glumly. The Sound is staring to wage a war against us. This is my brother's entire plan. I have a feeling that he's behind this all. I don't know how but I'm sure of it. Naruto bolted up again. And let the kids, your kids, my students have a war experience before they even experience a mission to capture a cat, to pick up garbage from the river, and all those crappy Class D missions? As their soon-to-be teacher, I won't allow it. They haven't even passed my test to be a true genin. No, Naruto-sensei. I know we can face it. Kiki's voice cooed. The 3 of them looked at the table to see the 3 sleeping kids with their faces faced towards them. Their eyes snapped open, indicating that they were awake the whole time. How long have you 3 been awake? Neji asked. Ever since you started talking about that Itachi whatever guy. Reika said. Lan stood up from his position and went towards Sasuke. Kiki followed then Reika. Naruto-sensei, we would want to take the test now. Lan said. Sasuke and Neji looked at their kids' faces. They were so full of confidence. Confidence that the 3 shinobis have never seen before. Naruto nodded. Alright then. The test will occur within 1 hour. Sasuke, may we use your backyard? He asked. Sasuke nodded. Naruto muttered his thanks and disappeared. Sasuke and Neji looked at their kids as they were preparing for the test. Lan, Kiki. Yes, father? Sasuke looked at his 2 sons. Do not use the Chidori, alright? Kiki frowned. Not use the Chidori? Mo, I've been looking forward to using it. Kiki, stop being such a spoilsport and obey father. I'm sure that there has to be a reason. Lan said. Kiki frowned. Ma, alright. Neji looked around to look for Reika. He found Reika meditating her chakra throughout the ground. Neji smiled at his daughter's improvements. Hiding his chakra as hidden as he could, he sneaked up behind her and was about to hit her back with the gentle fist when her eyes suddenly snapped open and managed to stop his hand before having direct contact with her back. She winced as her father managed to hit her with 2 fingers. No matter how little or light the touch is, the gentle fist is still the gentle fist. Neji smiled. You've gotten better, Reika. An hour later, the 3 rookies were standing side by side while Naruto was standing in front of them. Sasuke and Neji were sitting down on a wooden couch to watch the test. Alright you 3. I have decided that since we're going to start the test tonight, I'm gonna change the rules. This test will occur until 5 in the morning. It is currently 4 so the test will go on for an hour. Naruto explained. What kind of test is this, anyway? Kiki asked. If the 3 of you manage to make any damage on me, you pass. If not, fail. That is the rule. Ow, I hate tests like this. But I gotta pass. Reika thought. After this I'll ask Papa to treat me to ice cream. Kiki thought. Single quote. That was Lan's expression. Ready, start. The 3 kids separated ways. Reika activated the Byakugan as Lan and Kiki activated the Sharingan. Kiki was the first to attack as he threw a bunch of kunais at Naruto with an unbelievable speed. This boy reminds me of Tenten. Naruto caught one of the kunais and threw it at Kiki. It hit Kiki's left arm. I'm not yet done, Kiki thought as he threw another kunai at him. Naruto caught it with ease. Is that all you've got? He asked. That's when he noticed that there was an exploding note attached. Crap. He hurriedly threw the kunai towards Lan's direction. Lan managed to evade. He noticed Reika was crouching up on a nearby tree waiting for a perfect time to attack. I gotta keep him busy as Reika prepares for an attack, he thought. Taking out a bunch of shurikens from his pouch, he threw them all at Naruto, using the Cage Shuriken no Jutsu, Shadow Shuriken skill. Unfortunately, Naruto saw through this technique and evaded every single one of them. Hidden or not, you're quite good, kid. But not good enough. With that, Naruto did the Cage Bunshin and made them all attack Lan. Reika got out from her hiding place and attempted to attack the real Naruto. She saw it through the Byakugan, And can the Byakugan do that? Unfortunately, Naruto evaded the attack effortlessly. Gee, Naruto has gotten stronger, Neji said. Sasuke nodded in agreement. You're right, I just hope that the kids will be able to pass. Naruto made more cage bunchins and started to attack Kiki. Kiki. Lan stopped fighting the cage bunchins facing him and ran towards Kiki. Making the right hand seals, he placed his palm on the ground. Kaji no Tate, Shield of Fire. As the cage bunchins made contact with the barrier, they all disappeared with a poof. Naruto and the remaining clones looked surprised. Kiki took this opportunity and nodded at Reika. Reika got the hint and attacked the clones. Every clone was pierced with a senbon needle with great aim as they all disappeared. Naruto was quite shocked about that, thus giving the trio the opening that they need to attack him. Reika made her way toward Naruto's back and held him in place. Go! Kaden Housenka. Kaden Ryuka no Jutsu. The fire jutsus hit the target, but then, poof, the three gasped. Another clone? Suddenly, three other clones appeared behind the three without them noticing while the real one was standing on top of a nearby tree. It's 5 now, kids. Game over. With that, the three unnoticed clones knocked the three kids out. Naruto has really gotten good. He was merely playing with the kids. Sasuke thought. He will be a very tough opponent. Neji sighed. The kids have improved, but they are still no match for Naruto. He has great skill that could possibly beat me. Naruto jumped off the tree and picked Lan up. Come on you two, help me in here. Sasuke nodded and carried Kiki as Neji carried Reika. They set the kids down on the couch inside the house to rest. Phew, those kids sure are something. They have great potential. If trained more, they are going to be great shinobis. Naruto said. Sasuke HNED. Naruto, you were merely toying with the kids. The only technique that you used was cage bunchin. Naruto laughed lightly. I wasn't exactly toying with them. But it's true. They have great potential. Will the kids pass? Neji asked. Naruto shrugged. I dunno. He said teasingly. Sasuke and Neji's eyebrows twitched. Half an hour later, the three kids finally woke up. They frowned as they remembered what happened. Naruto went near to the kids. How are you three feeling? Kiki was the one frowning the most. Bad. Why? We failed. We didn't make a single damage to you. Naruto placed his hands on a thinking position. Well, you're right. I knew it, Kiki said. Lan was frowning and Reika has this, darn it, look. But don't you worry guys because Naruto was cut off once again by Reika. There's still a next time. I don't want to wait for the next time. Naruto frowned at Neji. Neji, is this girl really your child? Neji glared at him. Naruto turned back the kids. Will you just stop cutting me out? As I was saying, I was about to say that you guys are wrong with one thing. Naruto said. The three kids looked at him in confusion. You all passed. They blinked. The three of us passed? This is Lan, Kiki, then Reika. Naruto nodded. We passed. I'm a ninja. I'm a ninja. Kiki squealed in joy. Lan had this small smile and Reika had this relieved look. Now that the three of you are now official genins. Sasuke cut off Naruto. Kids, as much as I know that you are so happy in being a genin, this is no time for celebration. He said. The kids tilted their heads in confusion. Why is that? Lan asked. Neji walked over. Get some sleep first, then Tsunade-sama would be the one to explain. Naruto, you need sleep too. Anyo saw, I don't need it. Naruto said. Sasuke sighed. Fine, just at least let the kids rest. Kids, wake up at 7. Hi. In that instant, the three genin rookies fell in asleep. What they do not know was the war was starting to fire out. Yawn. Ohayo. Kiki greeted only to receive silence as a response. He stood up from his seat and arranged the sheets. Where's everyone? The sliding door opened as his twin brother, Lan, entered the room. Oh, you're awake, you sleepy head. We're all awake an hour ago. I was just about to wake you up. Oh, okay, let me change first, Kiki said. Lan nodded. We're waiting at the living room. Living room Uchiha residence equals. Ohayo Mina-san. Kiki greeted only to receive a blow on the head by Reika. Why must you always be a sleepy head? Reika scolded. Itai, you're not my mom. Kiki retorted. Whatever. Kids, let's go. Naruto said as the students turned to him. Hi Naruto-sensei. Neji and Sasuke smirked. Seems like the kids are starting to acknowledge you as their teacher, huh? Sasuke said. Naruto shrugged. Knock it off. I am their sensei. Neji turned to them. Naruto, Sasuke, now is not the time to make jokes. War is about to begin. Naruto and Sasuke nodded glumly. We know. Anyway, Reika, Kiki, Lan, we better get going to Tsunade-sama. She'll explain about the whole situation. Sasuke said as they started heading towards the Hokage's office. Hokage's office equals. Godem-sama, Uzumaki-san, Uchiha-san, Hyuga-san, and their kids have arrived. And Anbu said as he kneeled down at the Hokage. Tsunade nodded. Good, let them in. Call the frog Sennin and tell him to come here immediately. She commanded. Hi Godem-sama. With that, the Anbu disappeared in a puff of smoke. The 6 shinobis took that time to enter the room. Godem-sama, you called for us? Sasuke and Neji said at the same time. Ohayu Godem-sama. The kids greeted. Hey, took you long enough, old hag. Naruto said. Tsunade glared at him. I'll pretend you never said that, Naruto. Anyway, before I start, are there any questions that you would like to ask? I'm sure that the kids have a lot to ask. Well, with all respect Godem-sama, who is Itachi? Reika started. Let me answer that, Sasuke said. Itachi is my brother. Nani? Hi. He was the one who killed the Uchiha clan, leaving only me alive. Sasuke said. Hatred and rage were present in his eyes. The kids became silent, completely aware of the rage that was now being shown. At the same time, that simple information also started hatred in the kids' heart. They knew the hardships that their father had gone through, but never did they hear and expect that their father have a brother named Itachi who was the cause of all their hardships. Godem-sama, now that we know who that Itachi guy is, would you mind telling us what the current situation is? Lan asked. Tsunade smiled at this. A matured young man. Just what I expected from the Uchiha clan. Anyway, the Sound Nins are currently approaching the borders of the Fire Country. Jiraiya is currently on patrol. He should be coming right about. Now. The door suddenly opened as a man with long white hair came inside. Tsunade, I have the news, he exclaimed. Pervert Sennin, you never change. Naruto said. Jiraiya glared at him. As I would love to strangle you now, brat, this is war. Jiraiya said. Naruto crossed his arms. Jiraiya's sensei became serious for once. Naruto thought. As I have seen, the Sound Nins would be able to reach the borders in about 3 to 4 days at their current pace. Their number seemed to be at about 800 to 1,000 shinobis. This is bad. At their current number, we are no match for them. We need the help of the other countries. But who will we send? Tsunade wondered. Then it clicked. Naruto, Sasuke, Neji, and you 3 kids. I am going to send you on a mission to form an alliance with the other countries and to spy on the Sound Nins. Not to mention that we need shinobis to assassinate a certain person. Alliance, spying, assassination. For once, I agree with Tsunade. This is no time for jokes. This is a war. Jiraiya said. Who are the shinobis that aren't at the mission at the moment? Tsunade asked. And Anbu came inside with the list of the available shinobis. Godem-sama, the available ninjas are Nara Shikamaru, Yamanaka, Nara, Ino, Inazuka Kiba, Aburame Shino, Rock Lee, Hyuga Hinata, Tenten, Choji, Nara Ayumi, Inazuka Ruchi, Kurenai, Gai, Asuma, and Hitaki Kakashi. For a moment, no one spoke a word. I have made a decision. Scratch my first command. Aburame Shino and Yamanaka Ino would go and form an alliance to the remaining countries. Gai would accompany them. Inazuka Kiba, Rock Lee, and Tenten would go and spy on the northern borders. Nara Ayumi and Inazuka Ruchi would go and spy on the southern border. Asuma would accompany them. Tsunade stayed silent for a minute before speaking up again. Hyuga Hinata and Choji would not leave. They are medic nins who are needed here. Excuse me Godem-sama, but what would we do? Kiki asked. There are still the assassination, and I'm sure that some must be left to train the shinobis. One team to make an alliance isn't enough. There are still the Water Country, Lightning Country, etc. Godem-sama, if I may be so bold, who is the person to assassinate? Sasuke asked. Gato. Nani? I thought Zabusa had already killed that fatso. Naruto exclaimed. Tsunade sighed. Naruto, calm down. Gato has survived and he has hidden himself from the world. As for now, he is serving Itachi. He is Itachi's resource and as long as Itachi has him, he will not run out of supplies. Once he's gone, Itachi would soon have problem with getting resources. His army would run low. He would need to retreat for a while. And what you're trying to say is, with Gato gone, Itachi's assault is slightly tilted. It would take him a few more days before his plan would be balanced once again. Tsunade said. Naruto tilted his head. And your point is? Such troublesome. You never changed, Naruto. A voice called out. Everyone turned around to see Shikamaru together with the other ninjas available. Shikamaru, man, I'm so glad to see you. We now have a brilliant tactician. Naruto squealed. Shikamaru sighed. I'm here because Tsunade-sama told me to. Ruchi and Ayume went towards the other two kids. Hey Lan, Kiki, Reika, he greeted. Ayume blushed as she saw Lan. Hill Lan. Lan nodded in acknowledgement. Jiraiya, explained the current plans to Shikamaru. Hinata went near Naruto. Naruto, what's going on? She asked. Naruto hugged her assumingly. The old hag will explain later. I'll protect you. Hinata looked at him directly in the eyes. We're at war, right? Naruto nodded. With Uchiha Itachi and the Sound Nins. Okay then. Jiraiya Sennin explained to me the current plan. I agree with it. I'm just going to add other details. Sigh. So troublesome. Okay. First of all, I would like everyone's opinion on this. 3 people will do the assassination of Gato. Among all of us that are not yet in a mission, who do you think can kill without hesitation? Shikamaru asked. Everyone looked at each other and nodded. The Hyugas would be okay for the assassination. Choji said. Neji and Reika were quiet. Shikamaru nodded. Neji, is that okay with you? He asked. Neji merely nodded as he glanced at his daughter. Reika nodded silently. Alright then. Hitaki Kakashi Sensei would accompany them. The 3 of them would be in charge of Gato's assassination. What about the others? Shika, you're already the tactician. How about Kiki, Lan, Kiba, Tenten, Kurenai Sensei, Naruto, and Sasuke-kun? Ino asked. I already have a role for them. Kurenai Sensei would train the other shinobis until Anko, Ibiki, and the other ninjas come back. Kiba, I want you and Akamaru to stay here. Akamaru can be able to smell if the sound nins are coming nearer. Tenten, I want you to stay as well and train the other ninjas with Kurenai Sensei. Now, Sasuke, I also want you to join the assassination. Lan, Kiki, you two would stay here to prevent any havoc in the village. Naruto, yes, yes, sigh, so troublesome. I want you to stay and protect Godem-sama. Nani? I said, I know, but why did you give me a very lame part? I want a more exciting one. Naruto exclaimed. Shikamaru sighed. Naruto, you are the only one here that could defend Godem-sama. No one else could handle that. Naruto humped. Fine. Tsunade nodded. Now since all is settled, dismissed. Neji, Reika, Sasuke, Kakashi, I want you to leave as soon as possible. Use the rest of the day to prepare and leave tomorrow early morning. Finish the job as soon as possible. We need the 4 of you here. Hi, you may now leave. The 4 disappeared in the shadows. Tsunade sighed. The war will surely be fierce. I just hope that we'll be able to defeat them. Neji and Reika swiftly entered the branch family household and got the necessaries. They placed kunais, shurikens, bandages, and other things that are needed for a mission. Father? Reika broke the silence. Neji looked at her in silence and stopped whatever he was doing. Why must war start? I thought that everything is already peaceful among the other countries. I don't know. Neji said and continued packing. Reika sighed and went to the other room to get some scrolls. Now at Sasuke's place, his sons directly sat down and sighed. What the heck is going on? We're just genins and we're going to participate in a war. Kiki exclaimed. Well kids, live with it. A voice said. Naruto entered the room and sat down beside the boys. Sasuke glared at him. Would you ever learn how to knock? Naruto grinned. You never really let it bother you before, so why must I bother? It's not important. Sasuke sighed. Even in a war you are still cocky as ever. What do you want? Naruto's expression turned serious. I'm here to train the boys. He said. Lan and Kiki looked at him. Train sensei? What about Reika? Reika can handle herself. And besides, she has Neji with her. I'm sure that her father would also consider this a class mission as a training too. Naruto said as he stood up. At the same time, Sasuke just finished packing his stuff. I'm leaving now. And Naruto. Yeah? Take care of the boys for me. He said as he closed the door behind. Naruto smiled slightly. Your father never changed. He didn't even say goodbye to his sons. Lan nodded. Don't worry, sensei. We're used to father. Well then you too, let go. Your training is simple. As you walk around the village, use your kunai and shurikens to strike every falling leaf. Bring the leaves to me later at night. See you then. Naruto disappeared with a puff of smoke. The boys sighed. Among all senseis, why do we have to have a weird one? Lan asked. At least he's strong. Kiki added. Let's get going then. Back at Reika and Neji's place, they decided to train first for a few hours before going at the gate. Like the usual, Reika was beaten by her dad. Itai. Dad, you really are so heated up. Reika exclaimed as her back hit the ground. Neji stared at his daughter. I've been trying to hold back my strength. Drats. How can I protect the weaker main house if I cannot beat you, Dad? Sigh. Every member of the branch house already have their destiny unfolded the day they took their first breath. I hate my destiny. Reika, Neji started. We make our own destiny. Although we can't escape the duty given to us, branch members, we still make our own future. Never forget that. Reika stared at her father in disbelief. Dad, when did you start to think like that? She asked. I did before you were even born. A certain man set me free. He have set me free from the dreadful clutches of the main family. Who? Your sensei. Naruto. Reika's eyes widened. Naruto sensei, a Tucson? Neji nodded. Hi. The sun is starting to rise. We better get to the gate. Hi. Demo. I'm pretty tired. Do you have any food pills by any chance? Neji reached out to his pocket and handed a brown pill. Reika took it and swallowed it immediately. Arigato. Let's go. At the gate, they found Sasuke already standing by the gate with closed eyes as he waited for his other companions. Ohayo gozaimasu Uchiha-san, Reika greeted. Sasuke nodded in acknowledgement. Neji raised an arm in response. Reika leaned on a nearby post and waited as she twirled a kunai in her hand. Neji calmly crossed his arms and leaned in a nearby tree as Sasuke merely stood up and closed his eyes. About 10 minutes later, the sun has not even yet reached its rising peak. Kakashi appeared in a puff of smoke. Yo! Sasuke opened his eyes and looked at his ex-teacher. Neji uncrossed his arms and Reika placed the kunai back at the holder. Tsunade-sama told me that we would meet up with Gaara of the Sand on the way with his student. He will help us on this mission. Kakashi said. Reika looked at him. Gaara of the Sand? Isn't he the one with Shukaku inside him? She asked. Kakashi nodded. So does that mean that the hidden sand is already on our side? She received another nod from Kakashi. Let's go. At Naruto's place, he was leaning on the wall of the Hokage's office as he grumbled to himself. Naruto, stop it. Your grumbling is getting on my nerves. Tsunade said as she continued to sign all the paperwork. Sigh. Even at a war one still need to sign all these papers. Boring. I wish that I could just join Sasuke, Neji, Reika, and Kakashi-sensei on their mission. It's better than just to sit around and watch you sign those papers, old hag. Naruto grumbled. Tsunade sighed and glared at him. For the last time, don't call me an old hag. Naruto glared back at her. I'll stop if you stop using that cheap forever-looking jutsu of yours, old hag. It's not forever-looking jutsu, you baka. And for the last time, stop calling me old hag. Old hag. Tsunade's expression. Hash. Back at the other group. Kakashi-sensei, when are we gonna reach the place? And where the heck are we going anyway? Reika asked. Kakashi stayed silent as no one spoke a word. Kakashi stopped. You felt that chakra too, didn't you, Kakashi-sensei? Reika murmured. Sasuke, Neji, and Reika looked on the confused side as they saw Kakashi smile behind his mask. They're here. Sand appeared before them. Reika braced herself for an attack as the other two stayed calm. The sand disappeared and two people came to view. One was a guy with red hair and dark circles in his eyes with the kanji, I, on his forehead. The other was a girl at about Reika's age who looks exactly like Tenten except that she's younger and instead of pink she wears yellow. Also instead of green trousers she wears dark blue. She also wears noticeable dark blue scarf. Reika calmed down as she caught sight of the girl. Her eyes widened in surprise as the other girl did the same. Ring-rang Onisan? This is Lazy Hyuga's character. Please don't forget to read the note below. Reika-chan? Is that you? Ring, you know each other? Gaara asked. Ring, I'll just call her Ring, nodded. Hi Gaara-sensei. We were best friends when we were kids. Ring answered. The four-leaf shinobis tilted their heads in confusion. You said, Gaara-sensei. So does that mean that you're Gaara's genin? Kakashi asked. Ring nodded. Hi. Well, his personal genin. I don't have a teammate. Reika walked near her and pulled her aside. What is it Reika-chan? Ring Nissan, is Gaara-san a good teacher? He's kind of freaky you know. Can you actually stand being around him? Reika asked. Ring-rang nodded. Of course. Gaara-sensei is so cool. Even though my jutsu knowledge is still low, I have mastered my aim. And you can only create a bunshin. Reika added and smiled. Ring-rang pouted. Mo, that's not nice. Ring Nissan, you're older than me for 2 years so please don't act that childishly. Reika said. Ring sighed and smiled as she patted Reika's head Kakashi style. Okay then, you want me to act older than you, you got it. Hey, anything but the head patting. This time, it was Reika's turn to pout. Ring-rang laughed. Let's go back now. Gaara-sensei might be getting impatient. Reika nodded. Ring, let's go. Gaara commanded. Hi, concentrate more on your mission, alright Reika-chan? Hi, Reika, come now. She had Neji call. Hi Atusan. Well, seems like we'll work together once again, nay? Yeah, and you're still my Imouto whatever happens. Alright, currently at one of Konoha's clinics. A pair of beady eyes looked at Hinata from afar. The unknown guy smirked. Hyuga Hinata. You're mine. Ring Nissan. How far is it to the water country? Reika asked. I don't really know. I just followed Gaara-sensei. Reika stole a glance at Gaara and sweat dropped. He still gives me the freaks. I'm telling you. Gaara-sensei is cool. Kakashi halted to a stop. What is it Kakashi-sensei? Sasuke asked. Neji narrowed his eyes. Does anyone feel anyone here? Kakashi asked. Silence. Neji, you know what to do. Neji nodded. Byakugan. Well, no one's coming, he said. The others nodded. Very well. Everyone, set up camp. We'll rest for the night. They went down from the trees and went to a small clearing. Reika and Ring looked around for dried twigs and leaves, while Sasuke and Neji prepared the tents. Gaara said that he didn't need a tent for he never sleeps anyway. Kakashi started reading his dirty book. Later on, everyone was sitting around in the fire as they ate some fruits that they found in the forest. Gaara, could you stand guard while we sleep? Kakashi said. Gaara nodded silently. Ring stood up and got a few of her senbon needles. Ring, where are you going? Kakashi asked. I'm going training. Training? At a time like this? Reika wondered. She stood up and followed her. Silence surrounded them as the other remaining shinobis sat around in the fire. Everything was peaceful until, who's there? Neji exclaimed. The leaves on the bushes were ruffling. Neji activated his Byakugan as Sasuke activated the Sharingan. Out of the bushes came a girl that had long hip-length silver hair and gray eyes. She was about Ring's age. Who are you? Sasuke, at last, asked. The girl looked around as she spotted Gaara sitting down in silence. Gaara-san, Temari-sensei sent for me. She said coolly. Everyone looked at Gaara. Gaara nodded as the girl went near him and bowed down a little in acknowledgement. At that time, Reika and Ring came back. Hey, Mika-san, she called out. The girl turned to the direction of Ring. Oh, Ring-san, it's you. How are you? She asked. I'm fine. What are you doing here? Oh, and where's Aim? Ring asked. Aim's with Temari-sensei. She'll meet us when we finish the mission. She said calmly. Ring raised an eyebrow. Then what are you doing here? Temari-sensei sent me to help you in the mission. By the way, I'm Mikaze Mika. She said. We don't need your help, Mikaze-san. We're fine on our own. Reika said as her white eyes glared at Mika's gray ones. Who are you? Mika asked. Reika continued to glare at her. Hyuga Reika, if you must know. Mika closed her eyes. Gomen Nasai Hyuga-san, but I fulfill what my sensei ordered me to do. She glared harder at her. Reika, Neji called out. Don't make a scene. Reika calmed down. Hiya Tucson. She sat back down beside Neji as she continued glaring at the calm girl who sat beside Rain. Kakashi-sensei. Why do we need another one for this mission? We could do this on our own. We don't need the help of the Sand Nins. Sasuke said coolly. It is pretty obvious that he doesn't want help at all. Kakashi looked down from his book to look at Sasuke. Tsunade-sama gave out this order that the Sand Nins would help us. We don't have the right to argue. Sasuke silenced. A couple more minutes passed. Kakashi finally closed his book and stood up. Everyone, let's get some sleep. Sasuke and Kakashi stayed on one tent, Neji and Reika in one, and Ring and Mika in the other one. Gaara stayed outside and stood guard. Back at Naruto's place, he was leaning against the wall outside Tsunade's room with other Anbu guards. Man, am I bored, Naruto complained. Again, Uzumaki-san, please be patient. Anbu-1 said. Naruto sighed and took out an instant ramen from his pocket and handed it to Anbu-2. Could you please go and pour some hot water on this for me? Anbu-2's expression. Hashed to himself, what kind of shinobi is he? Anbu-3's expression. To himself, at a time like this he still thinks about his stomach? Anbu-1's expression. To himself, this is expected from him. Naruto-kun, I brought some food for you. A voice said. The Anbus stood guard. Who's there? Anbu-1 demanded. Naruto raised one of his hands. Uzumaki-san, don't worry, I know this person. Hinata-chan, come out now. He called. Hinata came out from her hiding place and smiled shyly. Naruto-kun, here, I brought ramen. Yoshi. Ramen. Arigato Hinata-chan. Shish. Oops. Gomen. Naruto said as he scratched the back on his head. Everyone, here you go. Hinata gave the other ninjas their own food box. You're Hyuga Hinata, right? Anbu-2 asked. Hinata nodded. Arigato Hyuga-san. Itadakimasu. Shish. Naruto's sweat dropped. Gomen Nasai. Over at the northern border, Kiba, Lee, and Tenten stayed as hidden as possible as they continued to look over the border as the Sound Nins were at camp. Akamaru, how long do you think it will take for those Sound Nins to reach the northern border? Kiba asked his dog. Rough. What did he say, Kiba? Lee asked. He doesn't know. Kiba said. At this rate, if they start to move, they would reach the border in about 3 days to a week more. They are still a blur over here. Tenten said. Lee, go over and report to Tsunade-sama. She said. Alright, at the southern border. Ayumi-san, how are you hanging in there? Ruchi asked as he jumped down from the tree he's in. Ayumi jumped down from the top of her own tree. I'm okay. Asuma-sensei, how's it? Not that bad, but it seems like most of the Sound Nins are over the southern border. Asuma said as he looked at Ruchi. Ruchi, report back to Tsunade-sama. Hi, at Lan and Kiki's place. Kiki here on point B. Nothing's wrong here, Lan. Kiki spoke up on his earphone and mini microphone. You know. The gadgets that Team 7 used when they were going to retrieve Taro, the cat? Lan here on point and nothing's wrong here too. Man Lan, I hate patrolling. Kiki exclaimed over. Sheesh. Kiki, people are sleeping. How many leaves have you got? Lan asked, remembering the small training that Naruto told them. Wait a second. Lan heard Kiki whispering over as he counted the leaves that he got. Lan's sweat dropped. Kiki, you don't have to count. I got 25 leaves here. How about you, Lan? Kiki asked. 50. Lan said plainly. Aw man, your number doubles mine. Kiki, you don't have to scream. I can hear you perfectly. Silence was heard. Kiki, are you there? Lan asked. Yeah, I'm here. How's Reika now? I hope she's alright, Kiki said. Lan's eyebrow twitched a bit as he remembered that his twin brother is also his rival for their female teammates' affections. Lan? Lan, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. I'm sure she's alright. I do hope you're right. At Shino, Ino, and Guy's place. My legs are sore, Ino exclaimed as she sat down on the bed. So far, they had already formed an alliance with the Lightning Country and the Water Country. They had just been at the Grass Country, but their proposals have been declined rudely. Flashback. After explaining the current situation to the leader of Kusagakure. Please be our ally. I'm sure that the Sound would gladly take the opportunity to attack this country next if he succeed in taking over our country. No. Why? The Grass Country does not need the help of the other countries. We do not associate ourselves with this unknown war. But, dismissed. Hi, thank you for your time. Reality. Great, just great. He rudely declined our offer when all we want is to prevent the Sound from getting to other countries. Ino exclaimed. We can't expect every country to be at our side. Shino said. Guy nodded. Shino's right. We just also recently found out that the rain country and the waterfall country are now an ally of the Sound. Currently, the Sound has about 1,000 nins. With the force of the rain country and the waterfall country at their disposal, their forces may exceed more. We need to hurry and talk to the Tsuchikage tomorrow. Guy said. Currently, they were at an inn at Iwakagore no Sato. They were supposed to meet with the Tsuchikage tomorrow morning. You too. Get some sleep. Hi Guy-sensei. Back at Konoha. Everyone, we need to train harder. War is about to come. Kurenai commanded as she looked at the other ninjas sparring with each other. Anko and Ibiki were now there too. Kurenai-san. How are things going over there? Anko asked. Kurenai looked at her. Everything is fine, Anko-san. How's Ibiki-san doing? He just recently finished his mission. He is currently training the others over there at the far north of Konoha. He seemed a bit strained, but he's doing fine. Anko said. Kurenai nodded. That's good. Kurenai got out 3 food pills from her pocket and gave them to Anko. Here, have one of those, then give the rest to Ibiki-san. The two of you need that more than I do, and I have already given all of the shinobis here their own supply of food pills. Anko swallowed one and smiled at Kurenai. Arigato Kurenai-san. I'll give this to Ibiki now. Later, Anko then disappeared. Kurenai faced the shinobis that were training before her. She sighed. I do hope that this war will end well. Back at Naruto's place. Arigato Hinata-chan. The ramen was great, Naruto said as he smiled at Hinata. Hinata automatically blushed. It was nothing, Naruto-kun. I just made a simple miso ramen. Nothing special. Hinata stammered. Naruto smiled gently at her. It is special to me because you made it for me. The ramen that you made is more special than any ramen that Ichiraku makes because you made it with your heart. Naruto said. This made Hinata blush more. Arigato Naruto-kun. She said. You're welcome Hinata-chan. Drop by anytime you can. I'm sure that Tsunade Baba would agree. Naruto felt the piercing glares of the ANBUs behind him because of his disrespectful way of addressing Tsunade. His sweat dropped. Gomen Nasai? Back at the assassination team. Reika tossed and turned on her sleeping bag, but she couldn't get to sleep. She was lucky that their tent was big and she wouldn't disturb her sleeping father. She unzipped her sleeping bag and sat up. Her eyes still have that glare. Can't sleep? A voice cooed. Huh? Atu-san, you're awake? Reika whispered. Neji opened his eyes but didn't sit up. What's bothering you, Reika? Nay, I still don't trust Mikaze-san. I don't like the aura surrounding her. It's scary and I smell blood. It seems that many deaths have passed by her. It seems that she gives no mercy. It seems that she's familiar with the art of death. It scares me. Many deaths seem to have flowed in her hands. You felt it too? Reika nodded. Hi. It was rather unusual that Reika would know what a person is like by the aura of the person. It's rather difficult for a shinobi to do that. To know what a shinobi is like just by a look. Don't worry Reika. Everything's going to be fine. Neji said as he tried to calm his daughter. Don't be frightened. Neji was confused as he saw his daughter's lips curl up into a slight smirk. Scared of Tucson? Who's scared? In fact, I would like to test her strength. Her scary aura makes me nervous in some way. But it also intrigues me at the same time. Neji sighed at his daughter's personality changes. Just go to sleep. Alright, outside. Mika silently went outside the tent only to find Ring sitting with Gaara in silence. Why didn't I notice her missing? Am I losing my touch? Ring looked at her and smiled. Mika-san, can't sleep too huh? Come on, sit down. Mika sat down silently. What's bothering you, Mikaze? Gaara asked. Ring looked at her sensei with a weird look. Sensei, is that you? You don't usually give a damn about anyone at all. Let alone your student. What's with the sudden change? I'm not talking to you, Ring. Gomen sensei. Well, that Hyuga girl. She intrigues me. It seems that she knows what I'm really like at first glance. And it's quite surprising that instead of giving me a scared look like anybody else would have done, she glared at me. No one has ever given me that reaction. It's quite amusing. Is that so? Gaara said as he silenced again. Of course. Reika-chan's a rookie, but she sure is insanely strong. I have to admit, but she's stronger than me. Ring said. Mika looked at her. Really? I would like to challenge her sometime. Ring's expression suddenly became dark. Seems that you found your match. Yeah, I'm going back to bed. Oyasumi Nasai, Mika said as she went back inside her tent. Inside Sasuke and Kakashi's tent. Kakashi-sensei, you're awake. You don't need to hide it from me. Sasuke said. Kakashi opened an eye and smiled. Yeah, I am. Why? Want to discuss something? He asked. Hi, I'm worried about Konoha. I mean, we're here at the forest doing a mission while back there a war might start any moment soon. We don't have time to rest. Kakashi raised a visible eyebrow. Is that it, Nani? Is that the only reason you're worried? He asked. Sasuke thought for a moment and shook his head slightly. To tell you the truth, ever since Sakura and I got married before she died and she gave birth to the boys, I realized that my ambition is not the only important thing in my life. I now have my friends. Naruto, Neji, Hinata, and everyone. I also have my sons, Lan and Kiki. Neji's daughter Reika is also there. I realized that there are many things that I cherish more than my ambitions. I want to protect them at all costs. I'm worried for their safety, for everyone's safety. Kakashi nodded. He really has changed, he thought. Well then, we better sleep now if we want to wake up fully energized tomorrow so that we can return back to Konoha to help them. Sasuke nodded and closed his eyes. He slept in an instant. In a place not far from the borders. Will I now take action? Yes, do as you please. We must have Hyuga Hinata in our hands. Hi, I will get her soon. Dismissed. Yes sir. Wake up everyone. Kakashi called out the other sleeping shinobis. Currently, the people awake were Gaara, which was pretty obvious since he don't sleep at all, Sasuke, and Neji. When they received no reply from the other sleeping genins, they decided to enter their rooms to wake them up. Neji opened the tent. He smiled slightly at the sight of her sleeping daughter. Reika, wake up. At the voice of her father, Reika woke up instantly. She looked at her father bluntly. Ohayu Atu-san, Ohayu. Now get up and eat breakfast. We're leaving. Reika got up. Hi, hey, what's that noise? A couple of minutes later, they have already finished cleaning and arranging the tents. As they prepared to leave, however. Anyone feel something? Mika asked. Everyone nodded. On the count of 3, jump as high as you can alight. Reika, I'll leave this to you. Kakashi said. Fine by me. 1, 2, 3. At that instant, the ground they were standing a while ago was filled with ninjas in black. Reika was in the middle of the group with a calm emotion fixed on her face. Alright, who will I exterminate first? Without a word, all of the ninjas in black attacked her at the same time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, and 10. Fine. Reika released chakra from her tenketsus that caused the other ninjas to be thrown back. Go Reika-chan. Ring cheered from behind the bushes as Reika continued attacking the ninjas with the gentle fist. Neji crossed his arms as he looked at his daughter from a tree branch. She improved a lot from the past weeks. To be the strongest female Hyuga. No, to be the best Hyuga is my dream. I will exceed my father and the main house and destroy the curse that my father that every branch Hyuga has. I dream to finish the main family and take that blasted Hanabi out, in which I will do. But before that, I have to get stronger. With that, she finished the last of the ninjas in black without a sweat and raised one of her hands as a sign that it's already okay to come out. She had immediately been tackled by Rain. You're incredible, Reika. You really are a genius of the Hyuga. Thanks Rain. But I'll appreciate it if you get off me. Ring immediately got off her and scratched the back of his head. Gomen, it's alright. I'm used to your pouncy attitude Ring Neeson. Reika smiled as the two of them laughed. Mika now was currently gazing over at the female Hyuga near her. A small smile was at her lips. You prove to be more interesting than you are, Hyuga Reika. Ring, Mika, come on. They heard Gaara call. The two sand genins faced their sensei as nodded. Hi Gaara-sensei. Neji walked near Reika and nudged her to go. Reika nodded and jumped towards a tree without a word. The minutes passed by quietly. No one spoke a word to maintain the peace and quiet surrounding the group. That was until... Wait, the group stopped by Neji and Sasuke. You sensed that too, didn't you Sasuke? Neji said. Sasuke nodded. And it seems that you did too, Neji. The three genins cocked their heads in confusion. What is it, Uncle Sasuke? Atu-san? Reika asked only to be hushed by Neji. Concentrate everyone. Everyone did and finally felt the tension in the air and the hard breathings. Not another floppy ambush attempt. Kakashi whispered. It seems so. Byakugan. Neji scanned his surroundings. 5 at the east, 5 at the north, 10 at the south, and 3 on the west, making us surrounded with 23 shinobis. Sound shinobis for sure, Mika said. For once Mikaze-san, I agree. Reika mumbled as her Byakugan activated. I don't want to mess around these guys, so let's get this over with. You 3 Genins, target the shinobis at the south. Gaara will go to the north with Neji. Sasuke will go to the east, while I go to the west. Kakashi ordered. Ring crossed her arms. Why do we get to have the south part? It's fine. It's alright to warm up a bit. Mika said as she looked at the southern direction. Reika didn't speak a word. Spread out. Equals with the 3 girls equals. Hyuga-san, how much farther? Mika asked. Reika's eyes widened for a bit since she never expected Mika to even rely on her Byakugan for data. She shook the thought off and activated the Byakugan. 3 miles from here. They are scattered all over the place. There are 3 of them over there at a nearby tree and the others are scattered all over. She said. Ring nodded. Okay then, I guess that plan is to split up, nay? Ring received a nod from the 2 girls as they continued their search. Equals at Gaara's place equals. Who are you? One of the sound nins demanded. Gaara stayed silent as the sand flowed freely from his gourd. Sabaku Q. Screams from the sound nins echoes throughout the forest. Sabaku Susu. A rain of blood rained all around the area as some of the blood mixed with Gaara's sand. Gaara HNED and turned away, extremely bored out of his mind. Equals at Kakashi's place equals. Slash. Crash. Clank. Kakashi threw a kunai towards one of the sound shinobis, hitting the target right in the middle of the eyes. Swoosh. He evaded a rain of kunais towards him as he threw a couple of kunais towards the ninjas, hitting them in the process. I wonder how the others are doing now. I'm sure Gaara has already finished his job due to the screams a while back. Clank. I better concentrate now. Equals at Neji's place equals. You fools won't win against me. Neji said as he attacked another of the shonobis. They are all fools. They cannot counter their own flow of destiny, which is to be defeated by my hands. Swoosh. Neji evaded a kunai coming towards his way. At the same time, one of the remaining shinobis tried to attack him from behind. Trying to attack me from behind, huh? No use. He blocked the attack with ease without even looking around. How did? As I said before, you won't win against me. Equals at Sasuke's place equals. Things were never better. The ninjas that were placed in his destined area were so weak that he didn't even need to use the Sharingan to defeat them. It was like as if he is fighting against a Genin-level ninja. He looked around at the defeated ninjas around him. He sighed. I expected better. These ninjas are a waste of my time. Without another word, he left. Equals back at the girl's place equals. Zoom. Everyone, get back. Reika exclaimed as a rain of kunais, shurikens, and senbon needles attacked them. What the heck? It looks like the party's starting now. Ring said as she got a kunai out and prepared her stance. Mika was calmly standing up. Reika was already in her Jukin stance with her Byakugan activated. Now I shall see what you can really do, Hyuga Reika. I shall see what you are really capable of, Mikaze Mika. Let me see the blood flow by your hands. Guys, incoming. Ring exclaimed as another rain of kunais started attacking them. Ring threw her kunai and a few other shurikens which hit 3 of the sound nins. The 3 female ninjas, female ninjas are also called kunonichi, right? Jumped directly out of the way. Reika gasped as she saw 3 kunais going directly at Ring's back. Ring, Abunai, she exclaimed. Ring transformed into a log. Reika sighed in relief. Reika-chan, you didn't think that I would easily be defeated by that lame attack, do you? Ring asked as she jumped out of a tree. Mika made a few hand seals and concentrated. Sand hurricane no jutsu, she exclaimed. A swift twist of her twin kodachis made a huge hurricane of sand that enveloped 5 of the ninjas. The 3 of the ninjas dropped dead in a heap as the other 2 struggled to stand up. What power? One of the ninjas whispered weakly. Ring appeared behind the other 2 and slashed their backs with a katana that was sticking on the ground. It has the symbol of the sound, so it must have belonged to one of the sound nins. Ring sighed. Poor men. killed by their own sword. Her face was filled with sympathy for the dead ninjas in front of them. Mika's face was blank. Reika narrowed her eyes slightly. We still have 5 other shinobis to finish. Ring exclaimed. Reika straightened up and jumped on top of a tree with her Byakugan. The 5 are coming our way. I'll take care of them. Ring smiled and placed her hands inside her pockets. Yeah, they won't know what hit them. The Hyuga patiently waited for the remaining 5 as she made swift hand seals. After that, she raised one of her palms towards the direction of the ninjas. Gentle fist. Chakra expel. 1. Her Byakugan disappeared as she jumped down on the tree. Calmly, she faced the other 2 ninjas staring at her. It's done. Ring has the what the heck do you mean look. What? Go to the direction I faced earlier and see what you can find. Reika said calmly. Ring nodded and went off. Mika stood in front of the Hyuga. What was that, Hyuga-san? She asked. The Hyuga opened her eyes. See for yourself. I don't want to waste my time explaining. Mika decided to not reply. She just turned to follow Ring. Reika followed short after. Reika, what the heck? Ring exclaimed. Mika's eyes widened a bit as she saw the 5 other ninjas. Red spots covered their whole body from head to toe. All of their 361 tenketsus are closed. They're dead, Mika said calmly but was also shocked by what happened. Ring turned towards Reika. But how did you kill them from far away? Reika sighed. The gentle fist has the ability to release chakra from our hands, right? All I did was expel my chakra farther and wider. The chakra that hit them is much more than the average chakra that the gentle fist usually expels. Reika turned to look at them if they were listening. Ring was listening attentively while Mika had her eyes closed, but Reika knows well enough that she's listening. My chakra just happened to hit their whole body, closing all their tenketsus, thus killing them in the process. Reika looked down at the dead bodies of the sound nins and sighed sympathetically. Gomen, I didn't mean to kill them. Mika opened her eyes. Even though you killed them, your eyes showed deep regret. What kind of shinobi are you? You should abandon your feeling during battle. Reika glared at her. Well, excuse me, I'm not the kind of shinobi who have experienced killing people with their own hand numerous times. I am not a heartless being. I am not like a certain shinobi here who kills without hesitation. I am not a shinobi whose hands have been stained with blood. Mika glared back. Ring started to panic. She waved her hands furiously as she tried to calm the 2 down. Hey, we aren't supposed to kill each other. Calm down you two. Reika sighed. Fine, come on, the others are waiting for us. The 3 of them jumped up a tree and went back as Reika and Mika exchanged glared from time to time. Ring sweat dropped at the 2. Aha, there you are, Kakashi called out as the 3 girls came. We were worried. Reika crossed her arms. We got into a little trouble. Kakashi sighed, knowing there's more to that. He looked at Gaara who was looking at the 2 female genin sand nins calmly. It seems like you have already expected this to happen. Kakashi decided to let that pass. After all, the mission is currently their top priority. Kakashi-sensei, how far is it to Gato's hideout? Sasuke asked. We're already near. About an hour more if we keep up in our pace. After about 40 minutes later, expect traps and other sound nins. Hi. After a good 40 minutes of silence, they reached the gate at last. The shinobi team was suspicious. No way this place would be so quiet. After all, they know what their mission is already due to the small conflict earlier. Everyone, expect the unexpected once we open this gate. Kakashi said. Everyone nodded. Creak. Standing in front of them was a girl with white eyes and short black hair. Dark glasses covered her eyes but it was seen that their color is white. Neji and Reika gasped. Another Hyuga. Trespassers, I am ordered to protect Gato-sama at all costs. So if you want to assassinate him, you all have to get through me first. The girl said in a cold voice. The girl looked at the shinobis. Her expression became serious as she saw the 2 Hyugas in the team. I never thought that there would be people from my clan in this group. The girl said. Reika took a step forward. Who are you? I am Hyuga Hiro of the Hyuga clan. Well, Hiro-san, I will fight you. Reika said as her Byakugan appeared. So be it. Hiro's Byakugan appeared too. But I'm warning you, I am not yet defeated by others except my mother. The 2 of them lowered their stances to the gentle fist. Sasuke and Kakashi looked at Neji in confusion, for he didn't make a move to stop his daughter. How about you? Who are you? Hiro asked. Hyuga Reika. Well, Reika-san, may I ask what branch you came from? Hiro asked. Reika hesitated to say where she came from. If she is a main branch member, she could defeat me easily by activating my seal. This is not good. Hiro smirked. You're from the branch family, right? Reika nodded. What if I am? You're a branch member too. So you noticed. You cannot hide anything from a Byakugan of mine. I also know that you don't have the seal in you. Why? Hiro tensed but calmed down. I'll tell you if you defeat me. Deal? I don't care. I'll fight you still even if you tell me or not. It's settled then. Prepare to lose. No one is ever worth my time anyway. Hiro said as she dashed towards Reika. We'll see about that. Reika then dashed towards Hiro as well with equal speed. Whoa, when did Reika-chan become that strong? I mean, I know she's really strong, but I never expected her to be that strong. Ring said in disbelief. Neji, you know very well that Reika still lacks experience, do you? She never killed anyone before. Sasuke said as he looks at Neji's calm face. Neji nodded. I know that, but I know she can do it. She's a genius of the Hyuga branch. I trained her extremely. She can't and wouldn't lose this match. It's true that she haven't killed anyone before, but... Neji was cut off. Reika-san has killed someone before. Mika said. Neji, Sasuke, and Kakashi were shocked. Reika have killed someone before? When? Neji asked. Mika crossed her arms. When we fought those sound nins a while back. She used a technique called Gentle Fist. Chakra Expel, and killed 5 of the sound nins in an instant even at a far range. She called all her opponents Tenketsus. And when I mean all, I mean all. Mika explained. Neji's eyes went wide. What does she mean, Gentle Fist? Chakra Expel. I never taught Reika a technique with that name. Moreover, that technique is not present in the Hyuga techniques. Don't tell me that is a Hijutsu that my daughter made on her own? Neji thought as he looked at Reika, who was currently fighting with Hiro. Block. Smash. Block. Reika and Hiro were both panting heavily. Sweat was running down on their foreheads down to their backs. Reika-san, you impress me. No one has ever fought me like this. You're the only person that I could consider as a worthy opponent. Hiro praised. Reika smiled tiredly. Thanks, but these guys behind me are even better than me. So they are. Want to continue? Yeah. The fight started again. Smash. Reika. Reika has been hit on the chest hard. Hiro smirked. Are you down? Poof. Reika transformed into a log. What a Kawarimi technique? Hiro thought, wide-eyed. Over here. A voice called. Hiro hurriedly turned around and saw Reika coming towards her. She had no time to react. Crack. Reika's palm hit Hiro's dark glasses. It cracked and fell down to pieces. Drats. The glasses saved her. Reika thought before smiling at Hiro. You're lucky, Hiro-san. Your glasses saved you. If it didn't, that simple touch might have been very devastating. You're lucky. Hiro smiled. So it did. Let's continue this. Hiro got out shurikens from her holster and threw them at Reika. She managed to evade them, but one that hit her on the shoulder. Reika winced. She took the shuriken out of her bleeding flesh and threw it back at Hiro, who evaded it effortlessly. The fight continued on. They blocked, they striked, blocked, strike, get hit, yada yada yada. The fight was so fair between the two that the fight was already lasting for a long time. That shinobi is strong. She can match up to Hyuga Reika's skill. Gaara mumbled. Ring looked at her sensei and cocked her head a bit. Gaara-sensei, you were saying something? Gaara shook his head. Nothing. Concentrate on the match, Ring. Ring nodded. Hi Gaara-sensei. Take this Reika. Hiro made a rain of shurikens and kunais. The numbers almost quadrupled the number of weapons that the sound nins used to them a while back. Drats. With a number of weapons this many, it will be impossible to evade even a single one. I guess I have to use this technique then. Hiro herself ran towards her to attack. You're finished. Kaiten, what a... Hiro and the weapons were pushed back by the force. Neji smiled to himself. Kaiten, never knew you were already capable of using that, Reika. I hope you can handle the next attack that I think you would use next. You're incredible, Hyuga Reika. No one has ever defeated me. Left alone to even equal me. I acknowledge you for that. Hiro said as she smiled weakly. Reika smiled slightly. I thank you. But let's leave the acknowledgement for later, shall we? Yeah, well then Hyuga Reika. I'll give all I got in this final attack. We'll see who's stronger. Hyuga Hero. I acknowledge you as well for being an incredible opponent. But I'm afraid that this fight will end in this final attack. I'm going to give my all. Both of them changed their stance. Neji gasped. It can't be. He thought. That stance. The two female ninjas smirked at each other. It seems that we have the same idea up on our sleeve, Reika-san? Hiro said. Yeah, we'll see who's better now. Hiro nodded. You're right. Let's attack. Now. The two dashed together in the same speed. Let us both give our all. To see the real winner in this. Let us give all our strength here and find fair and square. The two thought the same thing at the same time. Rokujuyo sho no hakesho. Nasho, Yanshu, Hishu, Jurokusho, Sanjunasho. The two shinobi's attack were all made at the same speed, the same strength, the same accuracy. They were an equal match. The shinobis watching braced themselves for the final attack. This final attack will determine the winner of this match. Rokuji Uyuy Anshu. Bam! They gasped. The two shinobis stood still in silence without any kind of movements. Reika and Hiro looked at each other with pained looks in their faces. They were smirking at one another. Good one Reika. Same to you Hiro. Nay, Gaara-sensei, who won? Ring asked her sensei whose eyes were a bit wide. Gaara looked at his female genin seriously. Just watch. At last, the two weakened ninjas parted each other with their hands swaying by their sides. They were still smirking at each other. We both gave our all in that attack Hyuga Reika. Yeah, but the question is, who won? We're about to see. Neji's eyes were wide with shock. He never had seen his daughter to fight like this. This got to be the toughest battle she has ever encountered. Sasuke looked at Neji beside him. He narrowed his eyes a bit then looked back at the two ninjas standing. No, more like crouching in silence. A sweat ran down Mika's neck. She quickly wiped it as soon as she noticed it. She doesn't want to admit it but she was totally shocked at the fight. She has never seen a fight between two Hyugas before and she never expected it to be like this. A few seconds seemed like an eternity for the watching shinobis as they continued to stare at the two girls. Just then, cough. Blood came out from both of their mouths as they kneeled down on one knee. The blood continued to come out, forming a small puddle of blood below them. The two panted. Without access to their chakra, they were both at lost. It seems that no one had won. Wait a minute, it seems? Reika suddenly coughed out more blood than before. With that, she blocked out and lost consciousness. Hiro was shocked. Had she won the match? Hiro's vision suddenly became blurry as a massive headache started to form. The pain was starting to be unbearable. Soon after, she lost consciousness herself. The watching shinobis were wide-eyed as they stood in silence, trying to contemplate what had just happened. It was Ring who broke the silence as she suddenly ran towards her fainted friend. Reika, phew, she's okay. She just ran out of chakra. She's lucky she's still alive after that massive attack, with a few broken ribs though. She then looked at Mika who crouched beside the fainted Hiro to check on her pulse. How's she, Mika? Ring asked as she continued to tend Reika. Fine, a few broken ribs as well but nothing major. She just had to rest. Mika said as she got out a roll of bandages and started to bandage Hiro's wounds. Okay. Ring looked at the other ninjas behind her. You could go ahead now. We can manage ourselves out here. Kakashi nodded as he signaled the other ninjas to follow. He cast a worried glance towards the two unconscious girls before entering the building. Ring giggled. Mika cocked her head towards her. What's funny? Ring shook her head. Nothing really. That was quite a fight between these two Hyugas, huh? What do you say? No comment. Back at a small clinic in Konoha, Hinata wiped a sweat off her brow as she finished packing all her bandages and medicines in a bag, totally oblivious to the fact that a pair of eyes were watching her not far away, ready to strike anytime. Good. Now I better go to Tsunade-sama's office to give Naruto-kun his ramen. Hinata giggled to herself. I'm sure he's grumbling about food right now. But as she exited the quiet clinic, a black cloaked figure swooped down and knocked her unconscious. The figure smirked evilly. At last, the figure then jumped towards a nearby tree as he hid in the shadows. Back at the assassination team, they managed to enter the place without killing anyone on the way. Gato's room should be on the next floor. Sasuke and I would stay here and keep them busy. Go on, Neji said as he prepared his stance. Kakashi nodded as he and Gaara continued going upstairs. They then reached a room with a large polished door. Kakashi tried to open it but was suddenly pushed back by a strange force. The door is protected by chakra to prevent anyone from entering the room without permission. Gato's smarter than we thought, Kakashi said quietly. Outside. Ow. Reika-chan, you're awake. How are you? Are you okay? Does any of your ribs hurt? How the heck did you manage to do that attack? Are you still breathing? Are you? Ring asked all in one breath before Reika stopped her. Hey, slow down. You're babbling random questions already, Reika said as she smiled weakly. Ring blushed in embarrassment. Well, I'm fine. I'm okay. Just a few ribs hurt. I don't know. And yes, I'm still breathing. Anyway, where's Hiro? Reika asked as she tried to sit up. Ring stopped her. Hiro's over there. Mika's tending her wounds, Ring replied. Reika nodded and looked over at Ring's direction. You know, I should admit. She's really good. I never fought someone like her. She's really strong. Ring giggled. Is that a compliment I'm hearing, Reika? Huh? What do you mean? I mean, as I know of you, you never compliment another person. It's just rather unusual. Oh, another ow was heard. The two girls turned towards Hiro's direction to see the girl waking up. Hey girl, are you okay? Mika asked coolly. Aside from a headache and drain of chakra, I'm fine I guess. Hiro replied as she tried to stand up. Take me to Gato's room, Hiro said as she struggled to stand up. Mika helped her up. Why? I covered the door of the room with chakra so that no one can open it without Gato's permission. Only I can take off the seal, Hiro said as she made her way towards Reika. She held her hand towards her. Nice fight, Reika. Reika stared at the hand before smiling as well and taking it. Thank you. Let's go now. The four of them entered the building with Ring supporting Reika and Mika supporting Hiro. Hey, it looks like there's some commotion over there, Mika said as she used her free hand to point towards the group of sound nins. Oh look, Neji-san and Sasuke-san are both fighting off the sound nins. Mind if I help them out? Ring said as she earned a nod from Reika indicating that she can now stand on her own. Ring then got out some senbon needles and shurikens and hurled them towards the neck of the sound nins without knowing, thus killing them in an instant. She continued her assault until not one sound nin is left. She raised her fist in triumph. Yeah, I'm good. Mika made a small smile and shook her head. Reika sighed at her friend's attitude, and Hiro just sighed. Neji and Sasuke looked at the four girls. They nodded at each other before rushing over to help the girls. Reika, are you okay now? Neji asked his daughter. I'm fine at Tucson. Sasuke helped Hiro stand up. Uchiha-san, would you please lead me to the top floor where Gato's room is? I covered the whole door with chakra so no one can go through. Sasuke nodded. The group went towards the top floor to see Kakashi and Gaara standing still, staring at the chakra-covered door. How come I can't release the chakra? Kakashi wondered aloud. That's because that seal can only be broken by the one who placed it there, which is me, Hiro said calmly as Sasuke released her to lean on the wall for support. And your point is? If you want your mission to succeed, I would open the door for you. Hiro then started walking towards the door and made a simple seal. The door glowed brown as Gato's panicked voice was heard. It's done. Do what you must. Kakashi then opened the door to see a terrified Gato looking at them in horror. Well then Gato, you know what we're here for. Don't come near me. Sabaku Q. Sand started to envelope Gato's body, leaving only his eyes, mouth, and nose to see. Sabaku Susu. Gato's scream was heard all throughout the place. Blood splattered all over the room. The girls, except Mika and Hiro, cringed at the sight. Gaara turned his back. Done. Well then, our job's done. Let's go back now, Kakashi said as he faced the team. His gaze landed at Hiro. What are we going to do with you? If it would please you and the hidden leaf, I would gladly be at your side, Hiro said calmly as she closed her eyes. Sasuke, however, have a different idea. And what makes you think we'll believe you? Sasuke asked as he crossed his arms at her. Hiro bowed her head a little. I am telling you the truth. I do not associate myself with the sound anymore. My job is to protect Gato, but now that he's dead, why do I even have to associate myself with them? I am only with them to do my mission, but now I do not have a reason to remain among them. I saw the power that the leaf nins of Konoha possess and thus I would gladly be your ally. Sasuke still looks doubtful. I assure you, a Hyuga does not know how to lie. Hiro said, still with closed eyes. Uncle Sasuke, I believe in her as well. Remember, as Hyugas can see through lies. I can see that she's telling the truth. And besides, I was the one who fought her. Therefore, I believe I know her well enough to know that she isn't lying to us. Reika said. Sasuke closed his eyes and uncrossed his arms. Then so be it. However, just one mistake from you. I cannot assure that you will live long enough to live another day. I understand. Kakashi smiled behind his mask. Now that's settled, let's go, shall we? Konoha needs us. The team nodded and left without a word. Hours later back at Konoha, Lan and Kiki were walking around Konoha, doing their daily patrol. They decided to stay together in case something happens. Hey Lan, it's been 3 days ever since they left, nay? Kiki asked as he faced his twin. Lan nodded. He stopped walking as he felt a group of familiar chakras. Lan? They're back, Lan. Who? A Tucson and the assassination group. Lan said as he hid a smile. Kiki brightened up. That's great. Come on, let's go to Tsunade-sama's place. I'm sure that they're there to report the mission. Kiki said as he jumped up and down. Lan sighed at his brother's attitude and nodded. At Tsunade's office. Well, I'm glad that things turned out well and you even got us a new ally. But are you sure she is to be trusted? She is, after all, an ally of the sound. Tsunade said as she stared at Hiro who was sleeping peacefully by the windowsill. I assure you, Godem-sama, that she can be trusted. Neji said as he turned to look at his daughter who nodded as well. Very well. The door suddenly barged open. Neji, Sasuke, Kakashi-sensei, and Gaara, how did the mission go out? Naruto exclaimed as he entered the room. Tsunade sighed as Sasuke playfully slapped the back of Naruto's head. Will you shut your mouth even for just 5 minutes, Dobi? I can't help it, you bastard. I missed you guys. His gaze landed on Reika. Oh my gosh, Reika, you look horrible. Reika sighed and scratched the back of her head. Long story Naruto-sensei. Sigh. Leave it Naruto. We've got more things to worry about. First, let me say the mission report. Kakashi said as he started his report. Kiki and Lan were jumping from tree to tree, eager to see their father and the girl they like. Well, Kiki doesn't know that Lan likes Reika as well. Suddenly, they saw a blur quickly pass by a couple of trees not far from them. The figure was carrying someone. The two decided to follow the man. The two gasped as they saw who the man was carrying. Hinata-san, the two said aloud. The figure noticed them and threw a smoke bomb to distract them together with a rain of kunais. The two didn't get the chance to follow that man for he was long gone the time they evaded the rain of kunais. Drats, we lost him, Lan exclaimed. Kiki's face was filled with worry. What is he going to do to Hinata-san? Lan shook his head. I have no idea, Kiki. But maybe this note will help? Kiki's eyes widened. Note? What note? Lan walked near a tree and pulled a kunai with a letter attached to it. It seems that the man threw this towards us as he was running away from us. The two opened the letter. They gasped at what they read. If you want Hyuga Hinata alive, you have two choices. Either back from this war, or send your shinobis to retrieve her yourselves. Even though you will lose more of your shinobis in the first place if you will succeed, in which I suspect will never happen. I will await your decision in 3 days. The letter was unsigned but the two boys know exactly what to do. They dashed towards Tsunade's office without a second thought. Well, that's it, Tsunade-sama. Kakashi ended this report. Tsunade leaned down on her chair. A fine mission done well indeed. Thank you, Tsunade-sama. I wonder how the boys are doing. Kakashi wondered. Yeah, and Hinata still haven't come to deliver my food. Naruto added with a tone that is obviously worried as well. As if in a cue, the door opened as the two boys entered with horror-stricken faces. Lan, Kiki, what's wrong? Reika asked her two teammates. Sasuke himself was looking concerned with his sons. Hyuga Hinata, Kiki stammered. Hinata's what? Naruto demanded. Kidnapped. Lan managed to say. What? Naruto clenched his fist and picked up Lan by the collar of his shirt. Who kidnapped her? Tell me, he exclaimed in anger. Tsunade stood from her seat. Naruto, calm down. Don't vent your anger on the boy, she exclaimed. Naruto tightened his grip on Lan's shirt. Naruto-sensei, stop it. Kiki exclaimed in worry as he walked near to Naruto. Naruto glared at him and picked him up too, this time, by the neck. I swear if you didn't do anything to help Hinata you're going to pay. Naruto's chakra was fuming already. Hiro woke up and went beside Reika, whose eyes were wide in fright. Sasuke clenched his fist and pushed Naruto back. He lost his grip on the boys. Lan fell on the ground hard while Kiki was choking. Reika, Rain, Hiro, and even Mika went to the boys' aid. If you're so damn angry fro Hinata being kidnapped, go smash a tree or something. Don't hurt my sons just because of your foolish anger. Sasuke exclaimed. Neji took a step forward, ready to restrain the two if things get too out of hand. Sasuke, Naruto, stop it. We won't be able to rescue Hinata if you two fight. Let's think of a plan instead than fight on foolish reasons, he said. Luckily, that line seemed to calm the two down. Everyone, I order you to sit down, Tsunade exclaimed. It was pretty obvious that she was worried and pissed off at the same time. Everyone sat down in quite a gruff way. The girls helped Lan and Kiki sit down on one of the chairs. Excuse me, Tsunade-sama. This note was left by the kidnapper. Lan limped over towards Tsunade's table and gave her the note. Tsunade's eyes widened. This is bad. She then passed the note around. This is a serious case. Hinata is one of the best medic nins in Konoha. Without her, we are at lost. Just like they are at lost without Gato. We need to rescue her. Lan, call Shikamaru. Yes, Tsunade-sama. Kakashi, send Pakken over to the two borders to deliver my message. We need the most elite shinobis here. Hi. Tsunade sighed and slumped down on the chair. She clenched both of her fists in her sides. Hyuga Hiro, will you please come here? Hiro turned her attention towards Tsunade. Hi Tsunade-sama. She made her way in front of the table. Please sit down. As we wait for them to come back, I would like to ask you a few questions. If that's okay with you. Hiro nodded. What is it you want to ask, Tsunade-sama? Reika, Neji, come here too. The others, please go outside for the time being. Tsunade glanced at the three Hyugas in front of her. She then decided to ask Hiro first. Hyuga Hiro of the Hyuga branch house, how come you don't have a bird in the cage seal in you? Hiro sighed and smiled. Not wasting any time, Tsunade-sama? Well, when I was born, my mother was afraid of the future that may be bestowed upon me for being a branch member. She doesn't want me to get cursed. That's why she ran away with me in order to save me from the dreadful clutch of the main house. Then she gave me to an old couple as she went away to search for a new home. But then, she stopped. Everyone noticed the tears coming from Hiro's eyes. Neji didn't really give it much attention, but Reika had different ideas. She patted Hiro's back. It's okay. Please continue. Hiro smiled weakly at her. Thank you. Well, years have passed. My mother didn't return. Obasan told me the truth when I turned 5. I was shocked beyond compare. Weeks later, I heard that my mother was found out, and she was put to death by Hyuga Hiyashi, the leader of the main family. I ran away and started to train myself at the age of 7. A few months later, I met another member of the Hyuga. He was a Junin from the branch family. He was the one who taught me all the skills that I know. Neji stopped her for a minute. Do you know this man? He asked. Hiro shook his head. No, I'm afraid not. Actually, I never even saw his face. It's always covered with a cloth with little slits for the eyes and nose. I never knew his name either. Well, when I turned 12, I heard of Gato and his men. I knew about the war going on actually, so I figured that since he's a very important man, they may be of need for a bodyguard, so I applied for a job. Then I met the assassination group. The next you know well about. Hiro ended her explanation with a sigh. Reika's eyes were wide. Hiro-san, that was quite an experience. I never would have figured that out. Hiro smiled. It's okay. But then, now that I'm here, I need to be careful. Tsunade nodded. The door opened as one by one, the shinobis entered. Tsunade raised her hand to calm them down. Shikamaru took a step forward and bowed down in respect. Tsunade nodded as Shikamaru faced the group. Lan told me the situation. I now have a plan. Everyone silenced as they let Shikamaru explain. As you may all know, the notes say that they will be waiting for our reply within 3 days, and we have 2 options. To give up in the war, or to rescue Hinata by force. Father, what will we do then? Ayumi asked. The genin rookies were also considered elite because of the skill that were seen. Shikamaru shook his head. You're so troublesome, Ayumi. Let me continue. I'm getting there. We are going to choose option 2. Gasp. Ino stood up. But how are we going to rescue Hinata by force? There are so many sound nins waiting for us. Ino, what countries have become our allies? Shikamaru asked. Ino thought for a moment. Lightning country and the water country. Grass country and earth country declined. Waterfall country and the rain country are allies of the sound. Shikamaru nodded. Very well. We also have the wind country as an ally too. We will ask for a few of the lighting country and the water country's shinobis to help us out. Our plan is simple. We would pretend to start the war with the use of a few of the combined shinobis. Most of the sound nins will leave their base to attack. When that happens, a team of shinobis will go over at their base and rescue Hinata. He explained. Is that all? Naruto asked. The tone of his voice clearly stated that he's annoyed and worried at the same time. Asuma stood up. Wait a minute. The enemy is not dumb. They know that if we were really going to start the war, they would expect our most elite shinobis there. If they don't find us there, they might suspect something. Shikamaru looked at Naruto. That's where Naruto's role would start. Naruto, how good are you with your Kage Bunshin? He asked. That caught Naruto's attention. Naruto looked at Shikamaru. Huh? I already mastered using the Kage Bunshin no jutsu since I've been using that since my rookie years. Why? Shikamaru grinned. Perfect. Ruchi leaned closer in total curiosity. Nay, what's the Kage Bunshin no jutsu? He asked. Kiba looked at his son. Ruchi, the Kage Bunshin no jutsu is a Junin technique that makes clones that can really make damage. Unlike the normal Bunshin that is only an illusion, the Kage Bunshin can really make attacks and perform jutsus of their own. Kiba explained. Sugoi. I want to learn that too. Ruchi exclaimed. Kiba bonked his son's head. You're too young. And besides, we're at war. Kiba exclaimed. Ruchi pouted. But Uzumaki-san said that he was already using that technique since his rookie years. That's because he learned that accidentally. Well, not exactly accidentally. I don't know the exact reason but, Ache. Don't ask. Nara-san, what does Naruto's Kage Bunshin no jutsu has to do with this plan of yours? Tenten asked. Shikamaru nodded. Alright, this is the other part of the plan. In order that they won't become that suspicious, Naruto would make Kage Bunshins by the number of the people that will compose the rescue team and then each clone will perform the Henge no jutsu in order to copy the other members' looks. Shikamaru explained. Lee stood up with his fist raised. Oh yeah, Nara-san, you're a genius, he exclaimed. Guy stood up after in the same pose. Yeah, youth lives, he exclaimed. The other people in the room, even Gaara, sweat dropped. Sigh. The thick eyebrow duo is really weird. They said in unison. Shikamaru faced Naruto once again. Naruto, are you okay with this? He asked. Naruto nodded. Yes, if it's to save Hinata, I'll do what I can. Good. Then, after Hinata's saved and the team is in safe conditions, the other shinobis will teleport back to Konoha at my signal. Everyone got that? Shikamaru asked. Everyone nodded. Good. Sigh. Explaining is too troublesome. That's a good plan, Shikamaru. It's simple but effective. In simpler terms, we will use a few of the combined shinobis as a decoy as the rescue team enters the base to save Hyuga Hinata. When Hinata and the team is already safe, the decoys will teleport back to Konoha. Tsunade said. Shikamaru faced Tsunade and nodded. Hi. Well explained Nara Shikamaru. I suggest that you choose the rescue team. Tsunade said. Shikamaru nodded. Hi Tsunade-sama. He faced the group once again. Alright then. The rescue team will compose of Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke, Hyuga Neji, Rock Lee, Hyuga Reika, Uchiha Lan, Uchiha Kiki, and Hyuga Hiro with Uchiha Sasuke as the team leader. Gaara, you and your genins must go back to Hidden Sand in order to tell the plan. Can you do that? Shikamaru said. Gaara opened his eyes and nodded. Fine. He looked at Rain and Mika and nodded. Rain and Mika waved goodbye at the Hidden Leaf Shinobis and disappeared in a swirl of sand. Sigh. That's it, Shikamaru said. Tsunade nodded. Done. Dismissed. The shinobis bowed down in respect as they exited the room. And Naruto. Naruto turned around to face Tsunade. What is it? Please don't do anything reckless. Naruto grinned. I won't Tsunade Baba. Naruto then left the room. Tsunade sighed in relief, at least contented with the fox grin and the nickname that Naruto said to her. Outside the Hokage's tower, I don't know if it's a tower, a temple, or a building, so I just made it a tower. Everyone had left, leaving the 3 Uchihas, the 3 Hyugas, and Naruto. Well, let's see each other tomorrow then, Dobi. Sasuke said as he signaled his sons to leave. Lan and Kiki nodded and waved goodbye. Good night Reika, Uncle Neji, Naruto-sensei. The twins said in unison. Reika waved back, Neji nodded, Hiro stared, and Naruto waved frantically. See you tomorrow at the Red Bridge at 6. And don't be late, Naruto exclaimed. Reika snorted, as if we're gonna be late. Naruto glared at her. What was that? Reika shrugged innocently. Nothing. Grr. See you tomorrow then. Good night. Then with a poof, Naruto's gone, leaving Neji, Reika, and Hiro standing in silence. Reika was the one who broke the silence and turned around cheerfully at Hiro. Hey Hiro-chan. Hiro-chan? Yes, Hiro-chan, so just call me Reika-chan from now on. Or Reika, or Hyuga, or Sai. Just call me Hiro and I'll just call you Reika. Okay, hey, wanna stay at our place while you're here at Konoha? Reika, I don't think that's a good idea. Neji chirped in. Reika HMPED at him. Mo, a Tucson, come on, Hiro's a Hyuga branch too. Neji sighed. Fine, but she's your responsibility. Okay, and remember to keep her identity hidden. We don't want Hiyashi-sama to know about this, right? I'll keep that in mind. Unknown to them, a main branch overheard their conversation and went to tell Hiyashi about it. Hyuga main house equals. Hyuga Hiyashi clenched his fists as he heard what happened to Hinata. You may think that he's worried about his daughter, but you're totally wrong. Hinata's a disgrace among the Hyuga. She really does not deserve to be the heiress if she can't protect herself. Hiyashi-sama, I have other news. The anonymous Hyuga said. Hiyashi nodded. Speak. Well, it seems that there is one branch member who hasn't got her seal yet. What? Yes sir. It seems that she was the baby girl who escaped the branch family. She is currently staying at the branch house together with Hyuga Neji and his daughter, Hyuga Reika. Hiyashi clenched his fists in anger. A traitor among the Hyuga, huh? Tell Neji, her daughter, and the traitor to come to my presence at once. Yes sir. Hyuga branch house equals. Hiyashi-sama wants to see us? Neji asked. The anonymous Hyuga nodded. Yes. He wants the 3 of you before him now. Neji nodded. We'll be there. See to that. Reika opened the door and went in as she leaned at the frame. What does Hiyashi-sama want now, a Tucson? This is bad, Reika. It seems that Hiyashi-sama knows of Hiro's existence. Neji said. Reika gasped. No way. It can't be. Hiro. Reika looked at Hiro with a worried look on her face. Hiro smiled weakly. If I really am destined to serve the main house and have my seal, then I won't escape. Hiro, you're wrong. Destiny is not automatically decided. It is made. We make our own destiny. Remember that, Neji said before ushering the 2 girls out. Let's go. Hyuga main house equals. Neji, Reika, and Hiro bowed down in respect before Hyuga Hiyashi, the leader of the main house. You called for us, Hiyashi-sama? Neji asked. Hiyashi looked at the 3 to see the new face. Hiyashi smirked evilly. Yes, I did, and it seems that the traitor is here as well. Hiro's eyes widened in fear. What is your name? Hiyashi asked. Hyuga Hiro. Face me. Yes Hiyashi-sama. Hiro looked at Hiyashi's face. White eyes met white eyes. Hiyashi smirked. I see. You are the branch member who escaped. That's why you don't have the seal. Now that you're here, there is escape. You shall have your seal first thing in the morning. Hiyashi declared. Reika's eyebrow twitched. She was totally annoyed. She raised her head and looked at Hiyashi right in the eyes. I'm sorry to disagree with you. But Hyuga Hiro is not to have the seal carved in her. Not now, not tomorrow, now ever. Reika said. Hiyashi was angered. How dare you look at me in the eye, Hyuga Reika? If your attitude is like that, then all of the branch members are to be severely punished. In behalf of the whole Hyuga branch, I Hyuga Reika, am sorry for any deed that may have angered the main house, Hiyashi-sama. Forgiven. But, my statement does not change. Hyuga Hiro is a Hyuga. But she is not an official member of the branch house. She is not even an official member of Konoha. Yes, she may be a Hyuga, but since she still does not have a country nor a village to really call her home, it is not allowed to do anything that may harm her. Reika's statement seemed to have angered Hiyashi more. Imbecile. This time, that was enough. Anger showed on Neji and Reika's eyes. No, Hiyashi-sama, we are not imbeciles, Neji said coolly, even though anger was present in his eyes. No, father. Hyuga Hiyashi won't face the truth if you say that to him coolly. Reika then faced Hiyashi with anger. We? Imbeciles? Ha, look who's talking. You are the imbecile Hiyashi-sama. No, it's just Hiyashi. I am merely stating the truth. You just can't accept the fact that I'm correct, right? Your stupid pride always goes first. If you don't let yourself be corrected, even for just a few times in your lifetime, then you are not worthy to be called the leader of the main house. Heck, you are not even worthy to be called a Hyuga, Reika exclaimed. Hiro was totally shocked at what she was seeing or hearing. Here she was, with people that she barely knew, standing before the very person who she almost killed. She was standing up for her, bearing the anger that Hiyashi had in front of her. No one has ever done this for her. Not one. It seems that I found a family. Hiro thought as she mentally smiled in appreciation. A family. That I can trust. That I can count on. That I can love. Thank you. So you see now, Hiyashi? No one can ever be a true leader if they don't know how to swallow their pride. Why? Are you afraid that you would make mistakes and then you will be laughed at by everyone? Reika added. Now that seemed to hit a nerve. How dare you? Hiyashi made a simple hand seal. Neji and Hiro were shocked. No, he isn't. He isn't going to use the seal, right? Hiro and Neji paled. Reika went wide-eyed at a terrible headache started to occur. They clutched her head in pain. The pain was totally unbearable that she screamed in pain. It hurts, doesn't it? Hiyashi mocked. Enough. Enough. I can't bear it anymore. Reika screamed. Tears were streaming down her cheeks in pain as Hiyashi continued his mental assault. Hiro ran towards Reika and stared at her in shock and worry. Reika, stop. Make it stop. Stop it. It hurts. Stop. Reika, bear it. Hiro exclaimed. Stop. Reika lost consciousness. Hiyashi placed his hand down and turned around. Now you know what will happen to you branch members when you disobey my orders. Hiyashi said without looking at them. Neji carried his daughter in his arms with Hiro beside him. Hiyashi-sama, I just want to say what my daughter wanted to say. Hiro won't have her seal carved in her. I agree since everything she said is right. If you have any complaints, bring it to Tsunade-sama. Those were Neji's last words before he and Hiro exited the Hyuga main house. The two walked in silence. Hiro looked at Neji in confusion. What is it, Hiro? If you want to say something then say it. I won't wait forever, Neji said without even looking at her. Hiro looked down at her feet. Hyuga-san. It's Neji-san from now on. Okay, Neji-san. Why did Reika do that for me? She asked as she stopped her tracks, making Neji stop as well. Because you're her friend and cousin. Neji answered before walking again. Hiro smiled. A family, yes, a family at last. At Naruto's apartment, Naruto kept pacing to and fro. He just can't stop worrying about Hinata. Darn it, he really loves her. He promised himself that he would save Hinata at all costs. His thoughts were cut off as he heard a knock on his door. I'm coming. Naruto opened the door to see his all-time favorite teacher. Iruka-sensei. Naruto-kun. Naruto hugged his father figure tightly. Iruka-sensei. I missed you. What were you doing all this time? You never visited me last week. The last time we met was at that old hag's office. That line gave Naruto a whack on the head. Itai, what has that for Iruka-sensei? How many times do I have to tell you? Don't call Tsunade-sama an old hag. You have to tell me that forever, Iruka-sensei. The two burst into laughter, though Naruto's laughter was bitter. Iruka noticed this and became concerned. Then again, when was he not concerned with our blonde shinobi? Naruto? What's wrong? Iruka asked. Naruto shook his head. Nothing, Iruka-sensei. Iruka frowned. Come on, Naruto. We've known each other since forever. I know you more than enough to know that you're depressed about something. What is it? He asked. Naruto laughed bitterly. Yeah, Iruka-sensei. You're right. Iruka held Narutipi's shoulders. What is it? Tell me. It's Hinata. She's kidnapped. And I didn't do anything to protect her. Salty tears started to fall from Naruto's cheeks. Iruka was shocked. Since when did Naruto cry like this? He must really love her to feel like this. Iruka thought. You really love her, right? Naruto looked at him. Of course I do. I love her with all my heart. He exclaimed. Iruka smiled. Will you do everything to get her back? Yes. Do you believe that we can get her back? Yes. Of course. We will get her back. That's the spirit, Naruto. Always believe in yourself. Don't let it get you down. You became stronger when you want to protect someone. Iruka said. Naruto remembered Haku's words when they met at the forest. You became stronger when you want to protect someone really important to you. Haku's words are really true. Naruto mumbled. Iruka raised an eyebrow. Were you saying something? Naruto shook his head. Nah, just thinking. Anyway, thanks for the visit, Iruka-sensei. But I'd rather be alone for now. Iruka smiled. No problem. When you need to talk to someone, I'm always there. He said. Naruto smiled. Thanks, Iruka-sensei. Bye, Naruto. Bye, Iruka-sensei. Naruto smiled slightly and closed the door behind him. He clenched his fists in front on his face. I will save you, Hinata. I promise. That's all for now. If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments.